On day 1, I spawned in as Black Panther. I only have 4 hearts? That doesn't seem like a lot for a superhero, but I can move quickly thanks to my cat-like reflexes. And it looks like I have vibranium claws too. Neat! Hey look, there's a waterfall right behind me. And there's some kind of skeleton with a giant battle axe? What is he doing here? Uh-oh, are we about to fight? Bring it on! The skeleton ran at me and swung his weapon, but with my cat-like reflexes, I dodged him easily. I ran up behind him and hit him with my claws. These claws were really powerful. Whoa, he fell right over the waterfall. I won! Too bad I can't get any loot from that skeleton because he fell down so far. I really wanted that cool battle axe. I decided to go to the bottom of the waterfall and look to see if I could find it. When I got there, I saw that the skeleton was still standing. He ran at me again, but this time I faced him head on. He was no match. And look at that, he dropped the battle axe. It's not vibranium, but it's still pretty cool. I wonder where that skeleton got it. I decided to take shelter in a cave under the waterfall and relax for the rest of the day. On day 2, I was woken up by the sounds of an angry gorilla. It had come out from the back of the cave and was trying to attack me. I looked at it a little closer and realized that it wasn't an ordinary gorilla. It was a zombie ape. Ah, get away from me, zombie! Don't make me use my new weapon. I ran away from the zombie ape and out into the sunlight where it didn't want to follow me. I guess that it was one of those mobs that take damage in the daytime. It was an undead just like the skeleton I fought yesterday. Maybe they were common in this area. I decided to leave the waterfall behind and follow the river towards the grasslands. Whoa, there are so many animals here. I could see a rhino and a giraffe, and it looked like they weren't zombies. Thank goodness. I guess I'll let them eat grass in peace, especially because I was starting to get hungry too. I saw some berry bushes, so I started punching them to gather food. Once I got enough, I refilled my canteen in the river. Surviving would be a lot easier now, and if I got into a fight, I already had some pretty good weapons. Still, I thought it might be good to build a shelter in case the zombies came out at night. I used the battle axe I got from the skeleton to chop down trees. I soon had enough wood to make a small hut and bed. It was almost nighttime, so I went inside and went to sleep. When I woke up on day 3, I noticed that there was a tree outside that wasn't there yesterday. It was really big and looked ancient and magical. There was a glowing panther spirit sitting in the branches. I made my way over to the magic tree, and the panther spirit started talking to me.
Zozo, this land needs your protection.
Oh, it looked like I was going to get a superhero quest. I stood there and I listened closely.
We are under attack by an undead warlord to the west of the grasslands. He is turning everything into zombies and skeletons. You must stop him.
An undead warlord? That sounded scary, and he was probably really strong. I'd need a lot more than 4 hearts to take him on, but I couldn't just ignore a quest from the panther spirit. The people and animals needed my help too, and maybe there was a way to turn the animals that had already become zombies back to normal.
Journey westward, and you will find his evil lair.
I spent the rest of the day gathering supplies for my journey and practicing with my weapons on any mobs I could find. On days 4 to 5, I traveled from my hut in the grasslands all the way to the heart of the desert. According to the panther spirit, I was heading in the right direction to reach the overlord's lair. Before long, I saw a zombie boar wandering around in the sand. Oh no, looks like the overlord has already turned the animals in the desert into zombies. The zombie boar charged me, and I lost a bit of health. I had to protect myself, so I drew my battle axe and took a couple swings. I'm sorry, Mr. Boar. The fight was over in no time. I spotted an oasis nearby. I had been traveling for a long time, and night would be here soon. I didn't want to be caught outside if more zombies showed up, so I gathered some wood from the palm trees and set up camp. I had just finished my little oasis hut when a genie appeared out of thin air. I thought I was going to get 3 wishes at first, but then he spoke, and I knew he wasn't the nice kind of genie.
Who dares come to my oasis without an invitation?
I said I was sorry and that I just needed somewhere to spend the night, but the genie created a sandstorm, and suddenly the oasis was gone. He may not have granted me any wishes, but he had left an item behind in the sand. I went to pick it up, and it turned out to be a brand new pair of Roadrunner boots. Awesome, now my movement over the sand will be twice as fast. On days 6 to 8, I was still in the desert when I saw a gigantic archway made of bones. There was a skeleton warrior underneath it, and he was carrying an obsidian shield and spear. It didn't look like he was going to let me pass without a fight. I put my battle axe away and got my vibranium claws ready.
You cannot go any further. I am the Skull Guardian, and you can't beat me.
He seemed serious, but I had to try. If I couldn't win here, there was no way I could beat the Overlord. I attacked him, but even my vibranium claws couldn't get through his shield. It was too tough, even for obsidian, and his spear kept damaging me. I was almost out of health. The only thing I could do to survive was run away. Good thing I had those Roadrunner boots. I turned around and got out of there. The Skull Guardian stayed at the archway and shouted after me.
You are too weak. Come back when you are stronger.
Maybe I still needed some more training. While I was running away though, I was spotted by a group of hoglins. I could have easily run away from them, but I was tired of running. I stopped and decided to face them. I took out my claws and defeated each and every one of them. When I defeated the last hoglin, I suddenly felt something inside of me. I grew into an even bigger Black Panther with more hearts. I also saw that the hoglins had dropped a ton of leather. I could use this when I got back to my base. On days 9 to 10, I went back to the grasslands to expand my hut into a base. I used some sandstone from the desert to make it into a small tower and crafted myself a full set of leather armor too. I then crafted a shovel. I felt a pull to this area for some reason, like it was calling to me, so I dug down until I hit some stone. There, I had an entrance to a mine beneath the tower now. I'd have to check it out further later. I built more furniture inside the base. Using wood I was able to gather from a bunch of trees in the grasslands. The one tree that I didn't use for wood was the ancient ancient spirit tree. The panther spirit wasn't there, but I was hoping that maybe it would show up to help me again. I definitely needed some advice on how to defeat the Skull Guardian. If I couldn't beat him, I would never be able to defeat the Overlord and save this land from zombification. On days 11 to 12, I was walking along the river when I saw the zombie ape from the cave splashing around in the water. Had it followed me all the way to the grasslands? It really might have, because it noticed me and ran up to attack. I was a lot stronger now though. This ape didn't know what he was getting himself into. Sure enough, I was able to win against the zombie ape that I ran away from on day 2. I looked at the river to see a water elemental emerging from below the surface.
Thank you. That zombie had taken over my home behind the waterfall, and last night it chased me all the way here to the grasslands.
Who are you?
I am the spirit of the river, and I can see that you are a great hero. This land needs a protector, and I'm glad you were here to save me.
I'm not that great of a hero yet. I need to beat the Skull Guardian or I'll never save the animals.
Have faith in yourself. I am friends with the Panther Spirit, and he believes you can do this.
But last time I fought against him, I didn't even damage him, and he almost took all of my health.
The only reason you lost to the Skull Guardian was because he had an enchantment cast on him that shields him from the attacks of the living.
The spirit of the river handed me a potion.
Drink this potion, and your claws will be able to strike true. That should make it a fair fight.
I said thank you to the spirit. If so many beings were counting on me, I couldn't give up. On days 13 to 15, I decided to check out my mine again, but first, I needed to grab my pickaxe. I still felt something drawing me to dig deeper, so I started digging down. Whoa, what's that? It was a strange material. Vibranium! Turns out, there was a lot of it just below the surface. This land must be rich in it or something. Either that, or I just discovered the only vibranium mine around. I gathered a bunch of it and went to my base to see what I could craft. It turned out, I could make a full set of vibranium armor and tools. Super! I have some serious armor now. My base is also looking way cooler. It's tricked out with vibranium walls and minecart rails. I kept the ancient tree protected in its own little courtyard and made sure to give it plenty of water. I also remembered to plant trees around the grasslands so that I get more wood in the future. On day 16 to 19, I was making my way back through the desert when I ran into a group of husks, and it looked like they wanted to meet the Black Panther up close and personal. The husks attacked me, but I fought back, clawing away at them. Take that, you dried out no good zombie, and here's one for you, you wannabe mummy. Before I knew it, I had beaten the whole group, but then I heard something and turned around. There was one more husk, and this one was way bigger than the others. That's a huge husk. I wasn't scared though, and I rushed right in to face him. The huge husk hit a lot harder than his little brothers, but his skin was just as soft as theirs, and before long, he was down for the count too. You know, I was glad those husks attacked me though. It was good practice for my claws, since I knew I'd be facing the Skull Guardian soon. On days 20 to 22, I reached the archway where the Skull Guardian was waiting and challenged him to a fight.
So, you think you can beat me this time?
Sure I can. Watch this! I drank the potion that the water elemental gave me, and now my attacks could actually damage him. I still had to keep my guard up and dodge a spear attack, but even his shield couldn't stop my vibranium claws this time. After several hits, he finally went down and dropped a skeleton key. A skeleton key? Was this thing made from the skull of the guy I had just defeated? Gross. This would probably come in handy later though, so I made sure to take it with me. My journey continued on, and soon I made it out of the desert to a wasteland. I'd have time to explore it soon, but for now, I decided to get back to my base, but not in the way you might be thinking. On days 23 to 26, I decided I didn't want to have to cross through the desert again in case I ever wanted to come back here, so I decided to build a massive tunnel back to my base. I dug down a little ways and then started tunneling in the direction of my base, placing torches as I went. It took a long time, but eventually I got to where I thought my base should be and tunneled up out of the ground. I popped up right in front of my base. How's that for good luck? When I got to the door of my base though, I saw there was a package waiting for me with a note attached to it. This must be from the water elemental. I could tell because it was all wet. The note read,
Dear Zozo, you're doing great. I knew you could defeat the Skull Guardian. Included are some potions that should make your journey easier. P.S. If you're liking the video, make sure you search for other Zozo videos at ZOZO to see more adventures he's been on.
Yep, definitely weird, but when I opened the package, I saw it was full of experience potions. Nice! I drank the potions and felt myself starting to change. I grew bigger and had more hearts too. On days 27 to 31, I upgraded my base to look a little nicer, since Black Panther is a king after all. I started a statue outside too, something that I knew would inspire me every time I came back to my base. I know it's only the very start, but can you tell what it is yet? Next, I laid down some track in the tunnel so I could quickly get back to the wasteland using a minecart. When my minecart ride was over, I exited the tunnel and took a look around the wasteland to see if I could find any sign of the Overlord's lair. That's when I noticed a small village hidden among the rocky hills of the wasteland. The villagers there said they'd been attacked by zombies, and some of them had even gotten turned into zombies.
Our iron golem is supposed to protect the village, but it's been broken for a long time.
Don't worry, I have an idea for how to fix it.
You're the best.
On days 32 to 35, I gathered more vibranium from the mines at my base so I could use it to upgrade the village's iron golem. It would be 4 times as strong as an iron golem would be, so the villagers would have nothing to worry about from invading monsters. I was really starting to get creative at using vibranium in my creations, and I soon realized that the material had another special ability I could use to improve my base's defenses. Vibranium could generate force fields, and with a little bit of tinkering, I was able to make a force field dome around the whole base. Let's see those zombie animals try to get inside now. On days 36 to 39, I returned to the Wasteland Village and used the vibranium to upgrade their iron golem. Now they had their very own vibranium golem.
Hooray! You saved our village!
It sure does feel good to be the good guy. Now I could ask them to help me in my quest. I'm looking for the evil overlord who has been making zombies. Do you know where I can find him?
No one here knows. You should go speak to the shaman of the mountains.
Thanks. On days 40 to 43, I trekked up the snowy mountains and found the lair of the shaman. It was guarded by a friendly snow golem. They didn't bother me, probably because they knew what a hero I was. Inside of a long wooden house was the shaman. They had so many magical potions on their shelves, including ones I had never seen.
So, you must be the one I've been hearing about. I've got an idea for something that might be able to help you in your quest.
I'm all ears.
I'm working on a potion that can turn zombies back into normal animals and people, but I need magic flowers from the jungle in order to complete the recipe.
You can count on me, shaman. On days 44 to 49, I headed deep into the jungle in search of the flowers the shaman needed. Eventually, I saw it, the hill shaped like a skull where the flowers were supposed to be. I fought my way up the hill. Eventually, I got to the top. Phew, that was a tough climb even without a bunch of mutants. No wonder the shaman needed someone to get these for him. And then I saw them. At the very top of the hill, inside the skull, were the flowers. I ran up to the flowers and tried to pick them up, but they were stuck. I couldn't pick them. That's when I realized they weren't stuck to the ground. They were actually part of a giant plant monster. The giant plant monster rose out of the ground, the flower still on top of his head. I don't suppose you'd let me have some of your flowers. But the plant monster didn't want to talk. It wanted to fight. It was a tough enemy. I had to avoid its poisonous plant breath attack and be careful not to get punched by it. It hit super hard, but eventually I took it down and it left one of its flowers as loot. Awesome. Now I can leave this crazy place. On days 50 to 53, I returned to the shaman. I invited them to come stay at my base while they finished the potion. When we got there, I built an area for the shaman to stay and work, complete with a nice big cauldron for magical potions.
Just a bit more fine-tuning and my anti-zombie potion will be complete. Thanks again for getting those flowers.
You're welcome. You could have mentioned the giant poisonous plant monster, but really, I'm just glad to have helped.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Here, take this as an apology.
The shaman tossed something at me. When I picked it up, I realized it gave me a new recipe. It was an upgrade ability for my suit that allowed me to build in some of the vibranium force field tech. Now when the enemies tried to hit me, I could blast them away. Now that's what I call a powerful ability. On days 54 to 57, the shaman and I went into the grasslands and tested the potion on some of the zombie animals. Wow, it actually works! We started turning animals back, one by one, until we got almost all the animals in the grasslands.
We've got plenty of more where that came from back at the base.
I didn't know what I'd do without the shaman.
Watch out!
Suddenly, the shaman pushed me aside. I was about to ask why when a giant beam of pure evil power shot down from above, and in seconds, the shaman was gone. Oh no, that must have been the overlord. He must have been aiming for me. I started to run, zigging and zagging as beams shot down from above. I kept running until I saw a cave and jumped in, just before a beam could hit me. On days 58 to 62, I waited in the cave until I didn't hear any more powerful beams outside. But what I did hear was something deeper in the cave. I turned around to see a spider leaping at me. Time to try out my new force field ability. I blasted him. Looks like it works just fine. I practiced with my new force field ability some more, and when I was sure I had the hang of it, I finally defeated the spider. With the spider defeated, I remembered the shaman and how quickly the overlord's attack had appeared. How was I ever going to defeat him? It didn't matter. I had to figure out a way, since that's what superheroes do. I knew there was still a lot of anti-zombie potion left, so at least the shaman's sacrifice was not in vain. Soon, this land would be safe from zombies. I would make sure of it. On days 63 to 66, I snuck out of the cave and went back to my base, where I gathered up all the anti-zombie potions the shaman had made. Before I left, I wanted to do some work on my statue. I needed something to cheer me up after all that had happened, and I knew a great statue like this would encourage me every time I saw it. So what about now? Can you tell what I'm making yet? I took anti-zombie potions back to the wasteland, and every time I encountered a group of zombies, I used the potions on them to turn them back into villagers. Then I sent them to go live at the village, protected by the vibranium golem. The villagers were happy to see so many people get changed back and sent me a letter to say thank you.
Keep it up. We've got more villagers now than ever before. Our little village keeps growing, just like your number of subscribers. And we hope everyone watching joins your village of subscribers too.
Oh, thanks guys. On days 67 to 70, while exploring the wasteland and saving more villagers from their zombified fate, I finally saw something far off in the distance. It was the evil lair that the panther spirit and the river spirit had told me about. I was sure that the overlord was in there. I could feel it, but it wasn't going to be easy getting to it since I could see that between me and the base was an enormous chasm. It looks like it went all the way around the base with no clear way to get across. I didn't have much time to think about it though, because suddenly I was attacked by a group of zombie apes. You guys again? Haven't you had enough of being zombies? I went to throw an anti-zombie potion at them when I realized I was all out. Oh no! no! I didn't want to fight them, but I was surrounded. It didn't look like I'd have much of a choice. With no way to turn them back to normal apes, I had to deal with them the old-fashioned way, with my claws. There were a lot of undead apes, but I was able to put all my skills and abilities to use, dodging their attacks and rushing in to land my own. Finally, the last of them had been taken care of. Phew, sorry about that, guys. I promise to make sure I have a full stack of anti-zombie potions next time. I could still see the Overlord's base far off in the distance. It was far enough away that it would probably take me a while to reach it, and then I'd have to deal with that huge chasm. I had a plan for that though, but first, I'd need to return to my base. On day 71 to 74, I built my coolest vibranium invention yet, an aircraft with vibranium-powered levitation devices built into the wings. The only thing scarier than a Black Panther is a flying Black Panther. With my new aircraft, I'd be able to fly right over that giant chasm and drop in right on top of the Overlord. Before taking it out to the wasteland though, I decided I should practice around my own base. Alright, here we go. The first test flight of the Wakanda 1 aircraft. It worked! The aircraft lifted into the sky. The Overlord would never know what hit him. I practiced flying around, doing circles around my base, gradually getting further and further away as I got more comfortable. Whoa! I was still getting used to the controls though, and almost crashed into a river. Luckily, I was able to pull up at the last moment, and before long, I had the controls down and the aircraft was soaring like a bird. On days 75 to 78, I flew the vibranium aircraft to the Overlord's lair, passing right over the giant chasm. Wow, from up here, it looks like it doesn't even have a bottom. Good thing I didn't try to cross it on foot. Before I left my base, I had made sure to fill the cargo hold with plenty of anti-zombie potions. Time to save this land from tyranny. From high in the air, I could see a group of zombie apes in the lair's courtyard. I decided to drop a bunch of potions down at them from the airship, turning them back into normal gorillas. I kept raining down potions wherever I saw undead, and soon everything was back to normal. There was only one thing left to do. I landed the aircraft on the roof, which I thought should give me direct access to the Overlord's throne room. I stepped inside the throne room and saw that I was right. There was the Overlord waiting for me.
You dare interfere with my plans? I will make you a zombie next, and then everyone and everything you know will become my zombies.
He swung his weapon at me, but my suit's armor was strong enough to keep the damage low. I blasted him back with my force field and then used my vibranium claws to land a couple good hits.
You cannot defeat me. I am the Overlord.
Watch me. Swung my hardest and knocked him down with my claws. Strangely though, he just started laughing. He started to glow and rise into the air.
You fool. All you've accomplished is releasing me from my zombie body, and soon I will be the mightiest being in the world.
Uh-oh, I may have really messed up here. The Overlord, now a super powerful evil spirit, vanished. It looks like I had just released an even greater bad guy. On days 79 to 84, I used my aircraft to return to the River Spirit. I wanted to see if I could get any answers on how to defeat the Overlord's new spirit form.
Well, the good news is he can't go back into his body now that he's a spirit.
What's the bad news?
The bad news is only full spirits can fight other spirits, and I'm not strong enough alone. Perhaps I could. No, it's impossible.
What? What's your idea?
Well, there is one thing that might work. I'm able to impart some of my river powers on others, but it's far too dangerous. You're not nearly strong enough to survive it.
But if I was able to handle you giving me some of your river powers, could that turn the tide?
Maybe, but you'll need to become much stronger both in body and mind if you want to withstand my powers.
I had to stop the Overlord, and this seemed like the only way, so there was only one thing for me to do: get stronger. It was time to start training. On days 85 to 89, I returned to my base and built some new areas where I could start training my body and mind. For physical strength, I built a dojo near the Panther Spirit's tree, complete with dummies that I could practice my attacks on. I had an even better idea for how to make my mind stronger, but to make it a reality first, I had to finish my statue. I completed my statue and stood back to look at it. I thought it looked great and felt mentally stronger just from gazing at the powerful panther emerging from the mountain. But it still needed one more thing. I decided to build a meditation spot right under its mouth, somewhere that I could focus and strengthen my mind. After training both in body and mind, I returned to the River Spirit, but he quickly sent me away, telling me I wasn't nearly strong enough yet. I returned to my base again to train, and this time the Panther Spirit himself appeared in my dojo. He told me that he'd trained with me so I could get better at fighting even quicker. I had an idea for how to improve my meditation training too. I went back to the statue and made it so that the water would pour out of its mouth, creating a waterfall. I then built an area right where the water hit the ground where I could sit in the rushing water and meditate, learning how to focus even with powerful forces raging all around me. As I sat in the rushing water, thinking about my fighting training, I suddenly felt myself start to change. I grew in size and gained more hearts. Surely now I must be strong enough to handle the River Spirit's power. I returned to the river and met with the spirit again. This time, there was no doubt.
You're ready now. I will give you my powers.
The River Spirit combined with mine, and I felt his power within me. I felt stronger, like my attacks would do more damage since they were infused with water power. And I now had the ability to create water anywhere too. Look out, evil spirit. A hero is on his way to take you down. On days 90 to 94, I returned to my base to get my aircraft when a wasteland villager suddenly appeared. He told me that the evil spirit had sent an army of zombie piglins to invade their village, and they needed help. I hopped into my aircraft and flew to the village as fast as I could. When I got there, I saw that the villager was right. There were zombie piglins everywhere. The village was on fire, and villagers were trying to escape. The vibranium golem was fighting off as many piglins as he could, but there were simply too many for him to handle alone. I fought what seemed like 100 little oinkers, using my new water ability to blast them. Eventually, we beat the last one, but the village had been almost completely destroyed. Villagers who had escaped were badly shaken and afraid. My base was big enough now that I was able to invite all the surviving villagers to stay there permanently. All of the villagers agreed to come, even the vibranium golem. On days 95 to 97, I took the villagers down to my train tunnel and built even more minecarts for them to start going to my base. I flew my aircraft back to the base so I could get it ready for them. I built enough houses for everyone in the same style as their village, and even built farms that looked exactly like their old home. The vibranium golem seemed happy too. He agreed to keep patrolling the new area and defend the villagers if any threats appeared. Just as I was finishing up the last house, I heard the voice of the panther spirit calling to me. I went back to his ancient tree once again.
The evil spirit is waiting for you at the end of the river. It knows you teamed up with the river and thinks if it can destroy the river, it can destroy you too.
Don't worry, I've got this. Together, the river and I are invincible.
Go to the river delta, where the river meets the sea, and there you shall find the evil spirit.
But before I left, he told me that there was one more thing he could do to help me. The panther spirit leapt towards me and absorbed into my body. I felt myself start to change, and I suddenly grew into a huge, superpowered Black Panther. I had a ton of hearts and felt more powerful than ever. Now, filled with the power of both the river and the panther, I embarked on what I hoped would be the quest that saved this land for good. On day 98, I was making my way downriver towards the ocean when I saw the shaman appear in front of me in ghostly form.
Hello there.
Shaman, you're a spirit now too.
Yes, before that ray of evil could kill me, I used my magic to become a spirit. I've been watching your progress, and you've been doing an amazing job. I think you could use some help, though.
I'll take any help I can get. What I could really use now is some moral support.
I can definitely give you that, but it would be even more powerful if everyone watching the video did too, by giving a like and subscribing. The more likes and sub you have, the stronger you'll be when you face the evil spirit.
Wow, thanks, Shaman. I hope everyone likes and subscribes so that I'll be really powerful. And if you like the video, make sure to type Zozo, Z-O-Z-O, in the search bar to see my other adventures. There's a whole bunch of them.
I will do that.
Well, I didn't think you had YouTube, but okay, cool. On day 99, I made it to the river delta. A vast ocean stretched out into the horizon before me. Come out, evil spirit, it's me, and I've got the river spirit to help me. I used my spirit powers to walk on the water, and soon I was standing in the middle of this great sea. A dark shadow rose up from below, breaking through the surface of the water. It was the evil spirit.
You're too late. I will soon eat the river and become even stronger. Then I turn anything that drinks from the river into one of my undead servants.
We will never let this happen. I used my water powers to hit the evil spirit. Then I ran in and started clawing him.
Oh, that does it.
The evil spirit called down his beam of destruction, the same one he used on the shaman, but I was ready this time. There was no way he could win. Not after everything I went through. Not after I came this far. As we battled, I suddenly saw other beams of energy. I looked to my sides and saw the panther, the river, and the shaman spirit standing next to me, adding their energy into mine. My combined spirit beam grew bigger and stronger, and in moments, the evil spirit's power had run out, and he was blasted by the beam.
Impossible. No!
I rushed in, and with one final blow from my spirit claws, I put an end to his reign of evil for good. On day 100, I returned to the base and built myself a royal chamber suitable for a Wakandan king. The land may have been saved this time, but somebody would need to remain and be its protector. And from now on, that would be me. On day 1, I spawned in as a fire spider. Oh cool, I got 8 legs and 4 hearts. But whoa, I'm not a regular spider. I'm a fire spider. That means I have to avoid water no matter what. I should probably look around. I started testing out my new abilities. I can jump high, run super fast, and climb up walls. Woohoo! Just as I was jumping from tree to tree, a swarm of tarantula hawks started to attack. Ah, where did you come from? Quickly, I jumped off of the tree and started running away. But these guys were fast. They even took out some of my hearts. Ouch, I need those. Realizing that I couldn't outrun these guys forever, I decided I needed to fight. I wonder if I have something that could help me fight these tarantula hawks. Just then, I looked into my inventory and saw I had an item, Web Shot. Throw at your enemies to attack or stun them. This should work. Quickly, I put this ability into effect and started throwing webs at the tarantula hawks. Whoa, this is awesome! I managed to bring down several of the tarantula hawks with my web shot until there was only one left. He quickly fled before I could take him down. Ha! And stay out, you flying fiend! I proceeded to look around a little more before I decided to call it a night. On day 2, I woke up hungry and decided to make my first web. I placed it in the tree and waited. Soon, I caught a fly. Tasty! Then I went and took a look around. I stumbled upon a hole in the ground and decided to check it out. Maybe I can find some more fire spiders here. Well, I couldn't find any more fire spiders. I managed to find some stone, but I couldn't mine it because it required tools. I better go get some resources. Just as I was about to leave, a bunch of badgers started to attack. Hey, what's the big deal? These guys were tough, but I managed to fling web shots at them and managed to defeat them. They dropped some loot in the process. I picked up a stone pickaxe and sword. Oh, these will come in handy. With the pickaxe, I mined the stone and even found some iron that I could use for later. Wow, this hole is great. After checking to make sure there were no more badgers, I decided to set up camp in the hole. After clearing out some space, I set up a little place for myself, and even started to build other houses, just in case some more spiders were to come. On day 3, I climbed out of the hole and started gathering wood from the surrounding trees. Just as I was about to bring down one of the trees, I heard a noise.
Hey, stop that down there!
Suddenly, a pigeon flew down from the top.
What do you think you are doing?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know anyone was living in this tree.
Well, there is. You can't just go around destroying everything you see like some kind of barbarian.
I didn't mean any harm, I promise. He sighed.
Just be careful next time.
Just as the pigeon was talking, a falcon came out of nowhere and started to attack.
Oh no, not this guy. You better run, little fire spider.
Instead, I used my web to attack the falcon and knock him out of the sky.
Oh, thank you so much. That falcon has been attacking me and my friends for a long time.
You're most welcome. I'm always looking for ways I can help. Why was he attacking you?
He is a servant of the Lizard King, the evil ruler who enslaves animals with fear.
Oh no, that's terrible. This Lizard King sounds like he's a real handful to deal with.
My name is Percy, and I would be happy to help you with anything you need.
Thank you, I could use help. You know, I have a place that you and your friends can stay to keep away from falcons. It's underground and I'm still building it. Would you like to come?
Most of the time, pigeons don't like living underground, but that sounds like the safe idea.
On days 4 and 5, I helped Percy put together some houses for him and his friends.
This place is going to look great, Zozo. A safe haven, away from the Lizard King.
You're right. I'm gonna have to see if I can get more critters out of danger. I also don't know where any fire spiders are.
Well, in the meantime, I will stay here and continue working. Before you go, I wanted to give you this.
Percy gave me some iron armor and a sword, made from the iron I had found earlier.
I thought it best for your journey. Take care, my fiery spider friend.
Thanks, Percy. I will return. Soon I was off to find the Lizard King, when all of a sudden, the tarantula hawk I fought on the first day returned with even more of his friends.
We shall have our revenge on you.
They all started swarming me with their stingers. Ouch, leave me alone! With the new sword, I managed to defeat most of the tarantula hawks, but the main tarantula hawk was heading right for me.
I will defeat you and take you to the Lizard King myself.
He was tougher to beat than the other tarantula hawks. I even took some damage from him. You may be strong, but I won't be defeated. Dodging his blows with my speed and jumping ability, I kept on striking him until at last he was defeated. As he disappeared, he dropped some bronze armor as well as a beaker of poison. If I'm going to come in contact with any more of the Lizard King's minions, I'm gonna need this. On days 6 through 8, I continued my journey to find the Lizard King. Along the way, I managed to find a village. Hello, anyone here? I went through all the buildings, gathering supplies where I could find them, but could not find anyone. How could an entire village just vanish like this? I started hearing what sounded like voices from one of the center buildings. Maybe there are some villagers still here. After following the voices, I discovered who was in the building. It was the Lizard King. He had on a huge crown and had big red eyes. Yikes, those are gonna haunt my nightmares. Gathering up what courage I had, I charged towards the Lizard King. Hey, why are you being so cruel to all the creatures of this land? They just want to live peaceful lives, free from bullies like you. The Lizard King looked at me with those red eyes.
The tiny fire spider who defeated my tarantula hawks. You will pay for your actions. Attack!
Then all of a sudden, the floor started shaking, and from out of the ground spawned a giant desert centipede. Uh-oh, this could be bad. The centipede was strong, it had over 20 hearts, and it was quick. It's a good thing I can jump and climb, or this thing would surely take me out. Then I remembered I had the beaker of poison, and prepared to use it on the centipede. Just as I was about to use it, the centipede attacked and knocked the beaker out of my hand, shattering on the floor. Oh no! The centipede grabbed onto me, shaking me around with its mandibles, and shaking the hearts out of me. This is not good. Just as I was about to lose my last heart, the Lizard King commanded he let me go.
That's enough. I still need subjects to rule. You really thought you could defeat me? Ha! Come back again when you are worthy.
That fight did a lot of damage to me, and all of a sudden, I blacked out. On days 9 and 10, I awoke to a different location. It looked like one of the houses in the village, only it was really damaged and there were webs on the walls. Ah, spiders! Oh, wait, I'm a spider too. I climbed around the damaged house to see if any more spiders were around. Hello? Any other spiders around here? Regular or fire type? Any will do. Or anyone? Preferably ones who don't want to squish me? I looked around a little more, and eventually I spotted what appeared to be a small, normal spider. Hey, where am I?
Oh good, you're awake. It's good to see you up.
Where's the Lizard King? Where's the centipede?
You fought the Lizard King and his centipede? It's a miracle you're still alive. When I found you, they were both gone. I was really worried you weren't going to wake up, but couldn't not help a spider in need. We brought you here to look after you.
We? Who's we?
Well, me and my brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters? There's more of you?
Oh yes, at least 700. We live in dark, shadowy areas near here, under the protection of Daddy Longlegs. Would you like to meet him?
Sure. Oh, and what's your name?
Marcy, I'm a jumping spider.
Indeed. Lead the way, Marcy. On days 11 to 12, Marcy led me to a secret passageway where we climbed down into a dark hall. Through the hall, we came upon the cave of Daddy Longlegs. It was surrounded by several different spiders of all different types and sizes.
Daddy Longlegs, here's the fire spider who fought the centipede. He is healed and wishes to meet with you.
Proceed, good spider.
I am Zozo, and I come to help fight against the evil of the Lizard King.
You are indeed brave, Zozo, but I am afraid the Lizard King cannot be defeated.
What do you mean? How can he not be defeated?
He controls the predators of the animal kingdom, forcing us spiders to live underground. Any attempt we have tried to fight against him, he takes out numbers of us. I'm afraid it's too risky for our survival.
I understand your concern, Daddy Longlegs, but we cannot keep living in fear. Someone has to do something. If nobody else will, then I will. But I know together we can do better, be stronger. Some of us might be squashed in a moment, but surely he can't stop all of us. Then I could hear Marcy cheering from the back.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Her cheering led to all the other spiders starting to cheer as well. Huzzah! Daddy Longlegs looked convinced and agreed to help me.
All right, Zozo, you have made your point. I will send some spiders to help you on your journey. Perhaps we truly can defeat the Lizard King.
3 spiders volunteered to help me on my quest. First was Taylor, a massive tarantula.
Yeah, dude.
Then there was Bruno, an orb-weaving spider.
Do you need a web? I got a web. It's a nice web. Did I tell you about my web?
This guy really likes his web.
Yeah, man.
Finally, there was Scarlet. She was a black widow.
I can turn anyone's life into a tragedy.
Well, I hope that will come in handy for us. Nice to meet all of you. Together, let's take this guy down. On days 13 to 15, we arrived back at my hole base. I didn't know how Percy and his friends were going to take there being more spiders, so I proceeded with caution.
Hello, Zozo.
Hey, Percy. Wow, you got a lot of work done. This base is looking even better than I thought it could.
Thanks. I managed to convince some other birds and animals to come make this their new home.
You've done great. Hey, I wanted to tell you something.
Sure, what is... Oh, more spiders! What are these animals doing here?
They look tasty to me.
Yeah, dude.
Before this tension was to become a battle, I had to calm down both sides. Listen, in order for us to defeat the Lizard King, we must stay strong together, no matter what species we are. Also, no eating the birds.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
After that was over, I managed to get everyone working together to create a giant statue of our hero. I hoped it could be seen as a symbol of justice and goodness for all walks of life. Can you tell what we're building? On days 16 to 19, I got a chance to meet all the new members of the base. Hey, how are you? Good to see ya. Welcome. I even ran into some unexpected guests. Oh no, the badgers again.
Wait, we're sorry for attacking you earlier. We just didn't have any other place to go. We saw how you built this place, and your friend Percy said it was okay for us to stay.
So wait, we're all on the same team?
Yep, we're also really sorry for attacking you earlier.
It's all right. I guess I can understand you being scared of someone trying to harm you. Welcome to the base. I have said that no matter our differences, we've got to work together to defeat the Lizard King.
Thank you.
Just as I was going around meeting new people, I saw Marcy run in looking for me.
I am delivering gifts for you for your journey. These are from Daddy Longlegs.
Marcy presented me with a new silver armor and sword with a special ability, Poisonous Attack. What would I do without you and Daddy Longlegs? This will be great for my journey. Thanks, Marcy.
You're welcome. Say, this place is pretty nice. Do you think I can tell the other spiders about it?
Sure, it's not quite finished though, but maybe when I'm done you guys can come see it. There's a lot of you, so I've got to make sure everyone is really impressed.
Deal.
On days 20 to 22, Taylor, Bruno, Scarlet, and I were off to catch the Lizard King. On the road, Scarlet spotted some signs up ahead.
We should be careful. It looks like we are entering into the realm of the ants.
Ants? Are they dangerous?
They attack in numbers and can overwhelm any creature bigger than they are.
Even someone like Taylor?
Yeah, dude.
Well, then we will definitely be cautious. I can't imagine anything worse than being dogpiled by a bunch of creepy crawlers. We scoured around for a bit, when all of a sudden a giant zombie praying mantis arose from under the ground. Gosh, he must have been attacked by the ants. Those guys are vicious.
Yeah, now we gotta put him out of his misery.
Bruno started making a web net to trap the praying mantis in, and Taylor threw it over to the mantis, trapping him.
I think we got him.
Just then, the mantis started tearing his way through the web net. Don't worry, guys, I got this. I jumped toward the praying mantis and started using my new sword. Say your prayers now, mantis. Within a few strikes, he was finally defeated, and I felt something inside me start to change. I increased in size and even had more hearts. My attacks felt stronger too, infused with even more fiery goodness. On days 23 to 26, we finally got to the anthill.
We need to be cautious. The ants could attack if we are spotted. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not interested in becoming a zombie fire spider today.
Just then, a fireball flew overhead. It was the ant guards, and they were shooting at us with trebuchets. Oh, talk about fire ants! All of a sudden, Bruno started working on what appeared to be a giant slingshot. Oh, great idea! Scarlet had some TNT, as well as some flint and steel. We decided that would work perfectly for returning fire.
Bombs away!
We took out the trebuchet and sent the ants running into their hill. Way to go, team! On days 27 to 31, we decided to go inside the hill. Wow, these guys have been busy. Inside, we found a lot of cool items that I could use for the compound and the statue. Glowstones, I can use these. As we journeyed deeper into the caves, we saw a hidden message on the wall. Subscribe? That's not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
A little further, and we began to see what appeared to be a story by the ants.
Apparently, the Queen Ant was tricked by the Lizard King, and now he has a puppet queen acting for him.
That's terrible. These ants should not be under the control of a puppet ruler. We need to do something. All of a sudden, something occurred. Ants began to crawl out from the walls. Get back! I mean it! No matter how hard we fought, the ants were too numerous, and they captured us. On days 32 to 35, the ants led us to the deeper parts of the anthill. Where are you taking us?
I kept trying to talk to them, but they would not respond. It was as if something was wrong with them completely.
Hello, can you hear me?
Eventually, we came to what I suppose is their throne room. The Queen Ant sat there looking sinister.
Spiders? How disgusting! You will make a fine specimen for the Lizard King. Though my children and I are getting hungry.
I'm getting pretty tired of creatures telling me they want to eat me. How about I give you something to eat instead?
I looked up and I could see what looked like a chandelier made of glowstones. I fired a web shot at it and the whole thing started to come crashing down.
No, not the chandelier!
I fell hard onto the Queen Ant, squishing her.
Whoa, what a way to go.
On days 36 to 39, we began leaving the hill. The hill was even bigger than I remembered, as we wove through many different hallways. We got lost more than once.
Man, how can one place look the same at every turn?
When we finally decided on a place to go, more ants came toward us. If we couldn't get out, we'd be in real trouble.
Stay back, we're armed.
Well, technically legged. No, please don't hurt us, and we don't want to hurt you.
Okay, well then what is it you do want?
We are servants of the true Queen Ant. When you defeated the other queen, we finally freed her, and she wanted to thank you.
Well, that's very nice of her. I'm glad she's back on her throne.
Feel free to come back anytime. If you have any questions, please let me know.
I did have one question. How do we get out?
Oh, right. You go up, make a left, and climb out of the big hole in the top.
Okay, that seems simple enough. Thanks.
No problem. You can climb, right?
Spider.
Oh, right.
On days 40 to 43, we thought it would be best to get back to the compound and put these glowstones to good use. Percy was doing a great job building places for the new creatures finding out about this place. If there is one thing we birds know, it is how to make a nest to come home to. You're doing great, Percy. I also thought these could come in handy. Glowstones, excellent. It was starting to look a little dark here. Right away, we got to work using the glowstones to create light fixtures around the compound. I also made sure that these were built strong enough so that no one could get hurt if they were damaged.
The last thing we'd want is for there to be another Queen Ant situation. No one likes to get smushed.
When a spider builds something, it is made to last. Also, when birds, badgers, and other wildlife chip in on the building, it definitely helps in the long run.
On days 44 to 50, I continued working on the statue. I'm really excited about this one and feel like it's coming along really well. Can you tell what the statue is yet?
All of a sudden, I could see a little jumping creature appearing in the horizon. Marcy, it's good to see you.
Oh, Zozo, I'm glad I found you. I have terrible news.
Oh no, what's the problem?
The Lizard King attacked the spider base with an army of scorpions.
Scorpions? Really?
Yes, they are one of our biggest enemies.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I really didn't think he'd be bold enough to take on the entire spider nest at one time. I'm sorry I couldn't have stopped him from doing this.
So am I. I wanted to tell you so you won't have to have the same fate. Now we have nowhere safe.
Wait a minute, why don't you all come live at my base?
Wait, really? Are you sure you won't mind all of us living with you?
Of course not. Besides, us spiders need to stick together. Plus, I've got plenty of room here. There's no limit to the amount of houses we can make for everyone.
Ha! I see what you did there. I better go tell the other spiders right now.
Quickly, I got started gathering more materials and supplies to start building for my new neighbors. I took a good long while to gather the stuff and start building, but it was all worth it. On days 51 to 53, all of the spiders arrived. Whoa, there sure are a lot of you. Welcome. Among the spiders appeared Daddy Longlegs, and I went over to greet him. Hi, Daddy Longlegs. I'm glad to see you're all right. You're all welcome here.
Thank you, Zozo, for doing this. You have given the spiders and many others hope.
It was my pleasure. The spiders sure are honored and lucky to have a protector like you.
Oh no, Zozo. I may have been their protector before, but you are their protector now. However, if you need advice, I will always be around.
I will definitely appreciate that. I know you've seen a lot of spiders in your day. I'd never be able to lead anyone as well as you have. Afterwards, I introduced Daddy Longlegs and the other spiders to the rest of the compound. They got along pretty well. I loved seeing everyone so happy to make new friends.
On days 54 to 57, the whole compound got together to start building walls so no intruders could come in. When most of the building was completed, we decided we should celebrate the new compound community. Daddy Longlegs prepared to give a speech.
I am truly thankful that we can all live in harmony, thanks to our magnificent friend, Zozo.
Oh, guys, I appreciate that. While Daddy Longlegs kept speaking, no one noticed a group of scorpions sneaking up behind him. Daddy Longlegs, look out! But he didn't hear me, and one of the scorpions stabbed him in the back with a stinger.
Oh no, Daddy Longlegs!
The spiders began attacking the scorpions while I tried to lead Daddy Longlegs to safety. Just stay here, you're gonna be fine.
No, Zozo, it's time for me to go.
What? You can't go, it's not over yet.
It's okay, Zozo. Take care of them all for me.
I will. I stayed with Daddy Longlegs until the end. When I checked back, the spiders won the battle. Sadly, it was up to me to share the sad news. On days 58 to 62, the whole compound worked together to build a memorial for Daddy Longlegs. Rest in peace, Daddy Longlegs. You will be missed by us all. I promise I will do what needs to be done. While we were sad at the loss of our friend, we all realized we needed better fortifications. We spent a good portion of the days building up the walls and putting up watchtowers.
I was so embarrassed that we were attacked when we thought we were safe.
They should protect us, but I just wish I could have done more.
Don't go blaming yourself, Zozo. Nobody could have guessed what was going to happen.
To take my mind off of all of this, I went back to finish the statue. Maybe this could give us some more hope. Now can you tell who our spider hero is? It's the most famous web slinger of all time, Spider-Man, of course. Just as I completed it, Scarlet showed up and told me a messenger came to see me. We ran to the gate to see it was the ant from the anthill. Hello, what are you doing here?
We heard about your attack. We are sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It has been hard for a lot of us.
Our queen wanted to give you something for your loss, as well as your fight against the Lizard King.
The ant handed over a wrapped gift and told me to use it wisely. I couldn't wait to see what it was.
I will definitely treasure this. Thank you, and thank your queen for me.
I shall, and you are most welcome.
On days 63 to 66, I opened the package to reveal a bunch of potions. Inside there was a health upgrade potion. I took it right away, and I gained 8 more hearts. I took a look at the other potions. Stinger Shock can cause your enemy to be paralyzed and allow you to either heal or attack. Boy, if I ever run into that centipede again, I am gonna use this. I met with my friends and told them that this would be my final mission.
Be careful, Zozo.
I will. I promise to return. We have lost too many friends for me to fail.
Good luck, Zozo. Go end this monster, once and for all.
Yeah, dude. I said goodbye to my friends, and then I was off. All I could do was hope that I would see them again soon.
On day 67 through 70, I journeyed off to find the Palace of the Lizard King. I first traveled toward the abandoned village where I first fought the centipede. I don't see him anywhere here. While I continued to look around, I spotted what appeared to be an ancient door. I wonder how long this has been here for. There was an inscription on the door that looked a little faded. I will with water when it rains. When sunlight comes, the water drains. To climb me is to achieve great gains. I quickly realized that it was a riddle and began putting it together. I got it! A water spout! The answer is a water spout! With this proclamation of the answer, the door cracked open to reveal a chest inside. I opened the box to show a full set of diamond armor and sword. I quickly put them to good use. Yeah, dude. I think I've been hanging out with Taylor a bit too much. On days 71 through 74, I traveled into the rainforest. Just as I was scurrying along the ground, a group of howler monkeys started throwing bananas at me. Oh, whoa! At least it's just bananas. One of the monkeys was huge. He must have been their leader. I started throwing web shots at him, trying to knock him out of the tree. You are not defeating me today! I managed to knock several monkeys out of the trees, forcing them to run away. The big monkey was the only one left. You might be strong, but you won't get me. With one last web shot, I knocked the monkey out of the tree and cornered him. Where's the Lizard King? Where is his palace? The big monkey gestured over in a direction. Afterwards, I went off that way. You know, that monkey looked kind of familiar. Yeah, it was probably nothing. On day 75 to 78, I journeyed along until I came to a river. Uh-oh, it's my old nemesis, water. The river was way too wide to try and jump, and I didn't want to risk falling in, so I decided to build a bridge. I was halfway finished when out of nowhere, who was to turn up but the scorpions again. You guys, I'll make you pay for what you have done. I readied my sword and prepared to attack. This is for Daddy Longlegs. I charged at the scorpions and they leaped forward to attack me. They were strong and I could tell they were trying to push me back into the water, but with my new armor, I could hold them off. I'll take you all on if I need to. Then I remembered I had the potion and quickly used it against the scorpions. Take this! The scorpions began to move slower and I could see their attacks before they could make them. Block, stab, slice, gone! One by one, I took out each of the scorpions. I gathered a new item, Scorpion Tail, used to attack or intimidate enemies. Also, it can be used as a disguise. When all that was over, I continued making my bridge to get across the river. On day 79 to 85, I finally finished my bridge to cross the river. When I got to the other side, I found that the only way ahead was through a narrow ravine, but the entrance was guarded by 2 scorpions. Man, these guys are everywhere! While I could have attacked them, I remembered that I still had that scorpion tail in my belongings. I quickly put it on and approached them. La 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 la, just a disgusting scorpion out for a stroll. The guards didn't seem to mind and proceeded to let me through. Well, that was easy. While journeying, I wandered into an open field that looked pretty desert-like. Well, this is a weird place to put a desert. All of a sudden, I heard rumbling and could feel the ground shake. I knew right then what it was. Suddenly, the centipede bursted out of the ground, just like last time, and lunged toward me.
It was time to take my revenge.
Bring it on, Leggy. That centipede was still fast and dangerous, but I was much more confident this time around. Oh, no you don't. I even used the scorpion tail to make a couple of hits, but it broke in the middle of the fight.
So much for disguising myself again in the future.
Take that, and that! Finally, I took out the potion again and used it for the finishing blows. I'm worthy enough this time. Prepare to be defeated. The potion worked, but the centipede was still quick. Furiously, I used everything I could to finally defeat it. Just then, I started feeling tingly. Ooh, I like this. I changed into a bigger and more powerful fire spider with even more hearts. All right now, Lizard King, prepare to meet your match. On days 86 to 90, I continued on my journey. I was feeling really confident until I realized I had just walked straight into quicksand. Oh, come on, who thinks of quicksand? Suddenly, I started thinking of ways to get out. All of a sudden, I could see Percy flying overhead. Percy, I'm glad you're here.
I can see that. How can I help?
Maybe you can pull me out, catch this chain, and start flying.
Good idea. Hit me.
I threw the line towards Percy and began flying, pulling me out of the quicksand. Oh, that was close. Thanks, Percy. What are you doing here?
I wanted to see how you were. You saved my life so many times before, and I guess I just wanted to repay you in some way.
Well, you definitely did that. If it wasn't for you, I would be in a really sticky situation.
It can get risky at times, wandering around out here on my own.
You are definitely welcome, my friend. I will let the others know of your progress.
Just before he left, Percy warned me about something he saw while flying overhead.
Be careful. I saw what appeared to be a gang of bullfrogs coming in your direction. They must be heading to the palace of the Lizard King.
Bullfrogs, you say? Those things will gobble spiders up in one bite.
I'll be sure to look out for them. Thanks again, Percy. Take care. On days 91 to 94, I finally ran into the bullfrogs.
Wow, those guys are big. I didn't know bullfrogs could get that big.
For the most part, they didn't seem to notice me. That's until one of them apparently spotted me and started shooting his tongue at me. Yuck! I don't need you tasting me.
He was strong though. He even took out a couple of my hearts. If I didn't make a move, I was going to be one toasted bug.
I can't just keep fighting this guy forever. I knew I had to outmaneuver him, so I jumped into a tree and waited for him to get bored.
Luckily, he didn't seem to be the smartest of creatures, even though he was so tough.
Serves you right. I didn't come this far to become a spider snack.
On days 95 to 97, I followed the bullfrogs to the Lizard King's palace. They might have been strong, but they weren't very smart. They led me right to where I needed to go.
Wow, this is gonna be a lot. As I got closer to the gate, I spotted a message written on the palace roof. Subscribe. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Be sure to subscribe and like this video for more content. I go on a lot of adventures and would love to have you follow me on them. I tried to get through the front gate when a horde of gecko soldiers started to attack. Out of my way. I got a king to fight.
I smacked the heck out of them until finally they were all defeated. This guy really loved his amphibians.
On day 98, I ran inside through the palace corridors to find the Lizard King. Wow, this place is pretty ornate for a lizard. Hey, that armor looks kind of familiar. Oh yeah, I almost forgot that I had an adventure as a knight. That was a journey. You guys should definitely go check it out when you are done with this one. Through different rooms, I would occasionally have to battle some of the gecko soldiers. Don't you guys have anything better to do? Despite looking all throughout the palace, I couldn't seem to find the Lizard King anywhere. I was getting disappointed and even losing a little bit of hope. I turned around and I could see what appeared to be the ghost of a long-legged spider. Daddy Longlegs? Is that you?
Yes, Zozo, it is I. I told you that I would always be there to help you. Don't give up. You are so close to the end.
You're right, Daddy Longlegs. I must continue. I'm scared though. I'm just a fire spider and I don't know if I'll defeat the Lizard King.
You may be small, but you have the spirit of a giant spider inside of you, and it's time to let that spirit out. I'm going to grant you the power that made me so big.
Something started to happen. Magic energy filled the room and I felt myself changing once again. I transformed into a gigantic fire spider. I had so many hearts now. Thanks, Daddy Longlegs. On day 99, I finally landed in the throne room. The Lizard King sat on his throne with his big red eyes staring at me.
Well, well, if it isn't the itsy-bitsy fire spider who defeated my minions. Looks like you aren't so small now, but I bet you're still weak. Come to face me at last?
I will do what I must.
Then you will croak.
Just then, he flipped a lever and the bullfrogs I had seen earlier came in. Oh no, not these guys again. Then I remembered I still had the potion and was about to use it when one of the frogs grabbed it with its tongue. Guess I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Using my wall crawling abilities and spider jumps, I dodged attacks from the frogs and gave them some damage. It looked like my attacks were superpowered with fire strength now. Soon, all the frogs were defeated, though I could swear I missed one. Now it's just you and me, Lizard King.
So be it.
He charged toward me with lightning-fast speed, giving me strong blows that did cause some damage.
You should not have fought against me, Spider. I am the Lizard King.
Oh yeah? And how do you taste?
What?
Just then, the last frog I thought I missed shot his tongue out, grabbed the Lizard King by the tail, and sucked him into his mouth.
No!
I became hesitant because I didn't know how the frog was going to respond. Hey, you're that frog I fought with earlier. I'm sorry for hurting you. Truce? The frog just looked at me, then suddenly spat up the Lizard King's crown. He croaked, then proceeded to hop away. Well, I guess that means truce. On day 100, I returned to the base to see everyone there, waiting for me. I told them all about what happened with the Lizard King.
Wow, I didn't even know frogs could eat lizards.
Neither did I. Guess you learn something new every day.
Zozo, I'm glad you've returned.
Yeah, dude. The Lizard King is defeated. Now we're free.
This would not have been possible without you, Zozo. Thank you, from all of us. Now we can go back to living our lives in peace.
And now we have a new home for spiders of all walks of life. Then there came a commotion at the gate. What's going on over there? Suddenly, a loud croak could be heard.
Frog!
No, wait, I think I know him. Turns out it was the frog from earlier, come by to say hello. I'm glad you could come by. Just one rule, no eating anybody. The frog agreed and I proceeded to introduce him to everyone. This had been quite the adventure. On day 1, I spawned in as a zebra. Wow, I'm so little and I only have 3 hearts. I need to be extra careful. I looked around and saw some antelope. Then I heard someone calling me.
Zozo, you're here. We love you so much.
I turned and saw 2 zebras running over to me. These must be my parents. They nuzzled me with their noses. Oh, I love you guys too. Then out of nowhere, a savannah jeep sped by. A human dressed like a hunter jumped out and started capturing the animals.
Run, Zozo.
My parents leaped in front of me so I could have a chance to escape. I ran away and hid behind some rocks. I watched helplessly as the hunter caught my parents and put them in the back of his Jeep. I was too little to do anything and I felt really sad. I barely had any time with my parents and now they're gone. I couldn't just wait around though. It was getting dark and I needed a safe place to stay for the night. I dug a little hole for myself behind the rocks and went to sleep. On day 2, I woke up confused. I was in a hole all alone. Then I remembered my parents and I felt sad again. I climbed out of the hole only to be attacked by some snakes. Oh no! I didn't have any weapons, so I had to dodge and run away. They chased after me, but I started to cross a river and they stopped. Phew, that was close. The water was really strong, but I finally managed to get to the other side. I really need to make some weapons for myself, otherwise I'll be snake food. I went to work gathering some materials to make myself tools. Once I had collected plenty of stone, I put up a crafting table and used it to make a full set of stone tools. It wasn't much, but it made me feel a little bit better. This'll just have to do for now. I figured I shouldn't cross the river again, so I found a spot near a tree and made myself a little shelter for the night. It's okay, Mom and Dad. I'll find you. I promise. And with that, I fell asleep. On day 3, I woke up feeling hopeful. I knew I could find my parents. I just needed a little bit of help. I'm sure someone knew where where the hunter kept the animals he captured. I set out across the savannah when I noticed a baboon getting attacked by a boar.
Someone help me!
The baboon screamed and tried to run away, but the boar was too much for him. I'll help you! I jumped into action, distracting the boar while the baboon attacked. We managed to defeat him, and we jumped for joy. Not bad for the little guys. Hey, I'm Zozo. What's your name?
I'm Barry. Thanks for saving my life. I owe you one.
No problem. Hey, do you know where I can find the hunter that keeps trapping animals? He got my parents, and I could use some help getting them out.
I can try. The hunter caught my family too. I followed him to his base, but it's basically impossible to get inside. Maybe we can do it together?
Sounds like a plan. But first, we should rest up. You can come live at my hut with me if you want. It'll be safe there.
That sounds great.
Barry and I headed back to my house, and I made him a little hut right next to mine. It was small, but it was better than living in a hole. Good night, Barry.
Good night, Zozo.
On days 4 to 5, Barry and I made some adjustments. We set up a perimeter to our base and made our huts a little bit bigger. We also found some seeds so we could plant some food. It was actually starting to feel a little bit more like a home.
Let's go hunt a hunter.
Barry tried to look scary as he said it, but it sounded a little silly.
Too much?
Too much. He shrugged and we headed out. We passed through the desert and made our way further into the jungle. We crouched down as we approached the hunter's fort. It was huge, but I didn't see any guards. Just then, a bunch of baboons came running toward us. At first we thought they were going to be friendly, but then they started to attack us. Oh no, Barry, we need to run! We ran as fast as we could and eventually the baboons stopped chasing us. Why were those baboons attacking us? We're not the bad guys.
I think the hunter can control the animals somehow. He wants us to be his servants.
That's terrible. Were any of those baboons your family?
No, I didn't recognize them. My family must be inside somewhere.
We started to head home so we could reassess our situation when we saw a human up ahead. Oh no, it's another human. He's probably working with the hunter. We started to run away, but he called out to us.
Hello, friends. No need to run. All I want is to take your picture.
He held up his camera.
He seemed harmless enough and he approached us slowly.
My name is Patrick. Could I perhaps stay with you so I can get some good shots?
Sure. You'll be safer with us than out by yourself. Maybe you can help us get our families back from the hunter. Patrick took our picture.
I would be happy to help you. The more animals, the more pictures.
Then he showed us one of his pictures.
We went home and helped Patrick to build a little house for himself. He seemed to really love it and took pictures of everything. Eventually, we all got tired and went to sleep. On days 6 to 8, I woke up to Patrick taking pictures of me.
Beautiful. Even when you are drooling, you look great.
He printed out the picture on his Polaroid.
Here, take a look.
I looked at the picture. It had me drooling, along with some weird symbols underneath. Maybe it's a weird human thing. Patrick left to go take pictures of the rocks when Barry walked in. I don't know if we can do this, Barry. We are just a small zebra, a baboon, and a very odd human. We are going to need a lot more help in order to free our families.
I think I know someone who could help. It'll take a little while to get there, but he's our best shot.
All right, let's go. We headed out, leaving Patrick to keep watch of the base. We made our way across the savannah. It was really hot, but we finally made it to an oasis with a watering hole and trees. There were elephants everywhere.
He's over there. He doesn't like strangers. Let me talk to him first.
Barry turned toward a large tree where an elephant was sitting on a rug. Barry walked over and chatted with him for a minute before waving me over.
Welcome, my young friend. What is it you seek?
We want to rescue our families from the hunter. He has captured a lot of innocent animals and he needs to be stopped. The elephant nodded.
Yes, I know the perfect artifact that will help you. It is a necklace with the tooth of a lion. It has been lost, but rumor has it that it is buried at the base of a secret underground waterfall. Find the waterfall and you'll find your necklace.
How is a necklace going to help us?
Yes, it has the power to give you the strength of 10 men, or in your case, zebras.
Oh wow, thanks so much. Barry and I were much happier as we went home. We could finally defeat the hunter. On days 9 to 10, we arrived back at the base. Patrick was taking pictures of some hippos he had befriended.
Wow, what magnificent creatures.
We talked to the hippos and found out that the hunter had taken some of their family too. We offered to make them a little enclosure in our base. After finishing up, they were very happy and thanked us for taking them in. I went out to go gather some materials and maybe locate the waterfall. I went back to the river because maybe the waterfall was close by. I crossed the river and saw the snakes that I had met before. Get back, you noodles! I smacked them and was able to defeat all of them. I really have gotten stronger. Maybe it won't be so hard to beat the hunter after all. On days 11 to 12, I kept exploring. I found a rock formation and inside of it was a cavern. I found some more materials and decided to go a little bit deeper. As I went down further, I was suddenly attacked by some nasty spiders. Oh, gross, none of that! I got a few hits in, but I defeated them all pretty quickly. It was then that I felt a surge of power and I transformed into a bigger zebra. Whoa, I feel amazing. I feel like I can take on anything. I continued down the cavern, hoping to find the waterfall, but there was nothing. I felt sad about that, but at least I'm stronger now. I made my way out of the cavern and headed back to the base. On days 13 to 15, I was making my way back to the base when the hunter drove by in his Jeep.
I'll be back for you, Zozo, right after I collect your little friends.
I was so confused. How did he know my name? What did he mean about my friends? He drove away really fast and I tried to catch up, but it was hopeless. By the time I got back to the base, I realized what the hunter meant. All of my friends were gone. He must have captured all of them, but how did he get in? I looked around and found Patrick's camera on the ground. The last picture he took was of the hunter shaking hands with Barry. Traitor! Barry sold us out! I was so tired from my journey that I barely made it to my bed before I fell asleep. On days 16 to 19, I woke up discouraged. I figured I needed to move my base, so I went about collecting some stuff. I was looking around the hippo enclosure when I noticed Patrick hiding behind a rock. Patrick, you're okay!
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just so grateful that I was able to hide before that awful hunter took everyone away. I can't believe Barry made a deal with him.
I know, it's crazy. But hey, I found your camera. I thought you might want it back. Patrick was so happy, he took a bunch of pictures of me. Then we went to scout out a new spot for our base. We worked on clearing out an area near some trees and started to build from the ground up. I built everything I thought we could need, and even a little bit of extra just to keep us safe. I sure hoped no one would attack us, because it was a lot of hard work. Soon, everything was complete. Patrick, we need to do all that we can to protect the animals on the savannah. I think we should build some sort of statue that will help them know that they can come here for refuge.
I think that's a great idea, Zozo.
We started to gather some supplies and built the base of the statue. Can you tell what it might be? On days 20 to 22, Patrick and I went looking for the underground waterfall that the elephant had told us about. We followed the river up a little ways before running into a pack of lions. We didn't know if they were friendly or not, so we approached slowly. Hello, have you seen any underground waterfalls anywhere? The lions seemed nice enough, but they were looking confused.
Waterfall? Why are you looking for a waterfall?
We were told by a wise elephant that we could find a special necklace buried at the base of the underground waterfall. It's actually a lion's tooth. The lions looked even more confused.
There is no such thing. If anyone would know, it would be us.
Now it was my turn to be confused. Then I realized it was the elephant that told me about the necklace. An elephant that Barry knew. It must have been all made up. Come on, Patrick, we need to go find that elephant and see what he actually knows. Patrick finished taking pictures of the lions, and we headed to the oasis. Once we arrived, we noticed that all of the elephants were gone. Oh no, what are we going to do?
I think I actually hear something over there.
Patrick pointed to a large rock formation, and sure enough, an elephant was hiding. It was the elephant we had talked to before. Hey you, we need some answers. The elephant trembled. He actually looked pretty scared.
Please don't hurt me. My family was captured by that awful hunter. Barry told me if I lied to you, the elephants would be safe. He's a traitor.
The elephant looked really shaken up. I felt bad for him. I understand how you feel. Barry betrayed us too, and now the hunter has our friends and my parents. But if you come with us, you can have a safe home at our base. The elephant perked up.
Oh, thank you. I would love to come with you.
Of course. I don't think I know your name though. I'm Zozo.
I'm Neville.
Nice to meet you, Neville. We'll take care of you.
We headed back to the base and made it home just in time for the sun to set. On days 23 to 26, I went to make some improvements to our base. I added some new fencing, a large garden, and fixed up a place for the elephant to stay. He seemed pretty happy about it, but I was feeling a little discouraged.
What's wrong, Zozo? You've done a great job with the base. No way anyone is going to get inside.
It's not that. I'm just upset that the lion's tooth necklace isn't real. It was my only hope to get my parents and friends back.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Zozo, but guess what? The necklace is real.
What? Then you didn't lie to us. We still have a chance to save my family.
Well, it is real. It's just not a lion's tooth necklace. It's a special totem. It has the ability to turn you invisible, but it only works on those with pure intentions.
That's perfect. It's going to be easy now.
I guess I should also mention, the totem is guarded by a crocodile. Nobody can get past him.
Between the three of us, I'm sure we can get the totem. Using the materials I had on hand, I made some weapons and armor for the whole team. Then I went ahead and passed them out to everyone. We were ready to fight. We locked the base up and headed out towards the river. On days 27 to 31, Patrick, Neville, and I went looking for the crocodile. We passed a group of hogs on the way, and they tried to attack Patrick.
Hey, I only wanted a picture.
He tried to run away, but they kept getting hits on him. Neville and I charged at them, and after a minute, we defeated all of them. Great job, Neville. No way is the crocodile going to get us. We started to head out when we noticed Patrick wasn't following. He was looking down at his feet. Hey, are you okay, Patrick?
I just feel pretty sad. All I've done is hide or run away. I couldn't even save any of our friends earlier, and it just makes me feel useless.
You're not useless, Patrick. You're a friend, and you've helped more than you know. We all have different strengths. Just use your strengths. Patrick seemed cheered up by this and nodded his head.
Thanks, Zozo. You really are a good friend.
Patrick hugged me, and then Neville hugged us. It was a little squished, but it was a nice little moment. Neville even managed to take a selfie with Patrick's camera. Nice! We kept trekking through the savannah, all feeling a little bit better about ourselves. On days 32 to 35, we finally reached a watering hole.
This is the watering hole, but I don't see the crocodile.
I looked around, and sure enough, it looked empty. Maybe he went to go hunt somewhere else. When all of a sudden, there was a commotion. I felt something try to grab me, and I ran out as fast as I could.
Whoa, that
That was close. It was the crocodile, all right. He was just super stealthy.
How dare you disturb me? Can't you see I'm resting?
We didn't mean to disturb you. We just want the totem you're guarding.
And why would I give it to you?
There was a hunter driving through the savannah, capturing innocent animals. He's captured our family and friends. We only want the totem so we can defeat him.
How do I know you deserve it? You could just be lying to me.
Well, if I didn't deserve it, then it wouldn't work anyway, right? The crocodile paused.
I suppose that is true, but I can't just let you take it. You have to earn it. Bring me the golden apples off of the tree on that hill, then you can have the totem.
The crocodile pointed toward the hill. On top was a small tree. All right, we'll do it for you.
Not all of you, only you, little zebra. Prove to me that you are worthy.
I wasn't sure I could do it myself, but I had to try. A lot of animals were counting on me. Okay, I'll go. I headed up the hill to retrieve the golden apples. On days 36 to 39, I made my way up the hill. But it wasn't just a hill, it was a mountain. Wow, this is a lot taller than I thought. I finally made it to the top and saw the apple tree. Whoa, that tree is bigger than I thought too. How was I going to reach all those apples? Just then, a monkey with a fancy robe appeared right in front of me.
Hello, traveler. Come to retrieve some apples, yes?
Yes, the crocodile down the mountain needs them.
Yes. It's been a while since he has sent someone up here to retrieve some. The last wasn't so lucky.
What the heck does that mean?
I shall present a scenario to you, and then you must answer a question. Answer correctly, and the apples are yours. Answer incorrectly, and you will die.
Wait, die? Are you serious?
Here is the scenario. Two monkeys are traveling together down the bank of the river when they see a banana lying on the ground. It seems to be a normal banana. They look across the river and see a tree. In the tree is a third monkey. He seems to be gathering bananas. One of the traveling monkeys says to his friend that they should take the banana on the ground, since the monkey in the tree is already harvesting bananas. How should the friend respond?
I thought about it for a moment. They shouldn't take the banana. It's not theirs to take. The monkey nodded and smiled.
You are correct, young zebra. In fact, if they had taken the banana, they would have taken the only good banana, since the ones being gathered were indeed rotten. They would have taken the only banana that the third monkey could have found for days. He would have starved if he didn't have that banana. These are yours for the taking.
Wow, thank you.
Stay true to yourself and remember what is most important.
I thanked him again and he disappeared, along with the tree. Whoa, where did they go? I didn't know, but I didn't want the apples to disappear too. I hurried to collect them before heading down the mountain. On days 40 to 43, I arrived at the base of the mountain. My friends had set up a little camp next to the watering hole. I went over to the watering hole where the crocodile was barely visible. I retrieved the golden apples, just like you asked.
You've done well.
The crocodile submerged for a moment before returning with a rock in his mouth.
Use it well, young zebra. You have earned it.
On the outside of the rock were those strange symbols, just like the ones in the picture Patrick took of me. Maybe it wasn't just a human thing after all. I twisted open the rock and saw the totem. There it is. I better hurry back to the camp. As I arrived back to the camp, Patrick tried to take a picture of me, but I immediately activated the totem and turned invisible.
Whoa, Zozo, where did you go?
He took a picture of nothing because I was gone. I walked behind him and then deactivated the totem. I'm right here, Patrick.
Wow, that's amazing. That hunter doesn't stand a chance.
On days 44 to 49, we traveled back to the base. Patrick and Neville went to the river while I went to look for some food. We had been walking a long time and needed a rest. We even found some nearby plants we could eat. All of a sudden, a horde of boars came out from behind the plants. Oh, sorry, are these your plants? Without a moment's hesitation, they started to attack me. Hey, I just wanted some food. You don't need to hurt me. I managed to dodge and defeat all of them by myself. Just then, I felt a surge of power and I leveled up into an adult zebra. Wow, I'm a lot bigger now. I noticed that I had more hearts too. I felt like I was the strongest zebra in the world. Taking down that hunter was going to be super easy. I went back to my friends and we talked about our plans. I think we should continue to build our statue once we get back and then gather some supplies for better weapons.
That's a great idea, Zozo. You can teach me to fight better so I can help you.
Yeah, we'd love to help with the statue. We need as many animals as possible to know that they have a safe place to stay.
I agreed and we headed the rest of the way back to the base. On days 50 to 53, we arrived at the base. Using more of our supplies, Patrick, Neville, and I got to work on the next part of the statue. It was really starting to come along. Can you guess what it is now? It was looking really good, so we took a break and tried to work on our base. We set up some new enclosures just in case we had more animals come by. We felt really good about our progress when we heard a knock at the door. I looked outside and there were a bunch of lions. Hey, you're the lions we met earlier.
Yes, hello. We saw your statue and wanted to know if we could stay here. Some of our friends were taken by the hunter, and we have nowhere else to go. Could we we stay here with you?
Of course. We opened the door and the lions sauntered in. We showed them one of the enclosures we built, and they loved it. They immediately made themselves at home.
Thank you so much. We would love to give you a gift as a token of our appreciation.
One of the lions gave me some diamonds and gold as a present. Wow, this is incredible. Thank you so much. I immediately began working with the diamonds at my crafting table and made myself some better armor. Wow, this is amazing. That night, we all gathered around the campfire and had a fun time. Patrick even tried to juggle for us. It was a good way to end the night. On days 54 to 57, I woke up to someone screaming. I raced out of my house to find animals running around like crazy. I noticed that the base's front door was open and there were hyenas running around. Oh no, we've got to get them out of here. The lions and I were able to defeat some of them and drive the rest of them away. Phew, that was close. But how did they get in? One of the lions stepped forward, his head hung low.
I am so sorry, Zozo. I went out during the night to do some hunting and I must have forgotten to close the door all the way when I came back in. You can kick me out if you want to. I deserve it.
He looked so upset, but I knew it was an accident. It's okay. Nobody got hurt and nothing was taken, so we are okay. He seemed relieved and we all headed back to our houses. When I walked inside, it looked like one of my chests had been opened. I ran over and I realized my totem of invisibility was gone. Oh no! Neville heard me from outside and peeked in.
Is everything okay, Zozo?
No, my totem is gone. Those hyenas must have taken it.
Oh no, we need to get it back, and fast.
We told Patrick what had happened, and he agreed to come with us to find the hyenas.
I think I might even know where they live. I saw them once near a cavern, and I tried to take a picture, but they tried to eat me, so I ran away.
That's awesome, Patrick. Not the almost getting eaten part, the knowing where to go part. He nodded and smiled.
I know.
I talked to the lions before we left and told them to let in any other animals that needed help. They agreed, and we headed toward the cavern to retrieve my totem. On days 58 to 62, we traveled toward the cavern that Patrick told us about. We ran into some Dagoos on the way and told them to go to our base if they wanted a safe place to stay. They happily agreed. We also ran into some ostriches and some frogs. We extended the same invite to them as the other animals, and they accepted. Wow, I hope we have enough space for everybody. The whole savannah wouldn't be able to fit in our base, but we could sure try. We kept traveling and gathered some food and seeds as we went. We were going to have a lot more mouths to feed when we got back. We finally arrived at the cavern, but it looked empty.
Are you sure this is the right place, Patrick?
Yes, see, look.
I picked up something off the ground in the middle of some tall grass.
This is the lens that I dropped before. I was too scared to come back for it, so I just left it.
We continued into the cavern, which eventually turned into a large underground cave. We peered over a rock and saw the hyenas down below. There were a ton of them. Some of them were just lounging around, but some were fighting over something. I took a closer look and realized it was my totem. Hey, they have my totem. I whispered to my friends and motioned toward the group of hyenas.
There are so many of them. How are we ever going to get your totem back?
I thought for a minute and then came up with a plan. I whispered it to my friends and we got into our positions. 1, 2, 3, now! Patrick started flashing his camera from the opening of the tunnel. The hyenas all saw the lights and went running towards Patrick. He hurried and hid behind a rock by the opening as all the hyenas came rushing out. Neville came out from behind his rock and tried to roll a large stone in front of the entryway. I ran out from behind my rock and went down to grab the totem that the hyenas had dropped in the chaos. Got it! I ran up to see Neville struggling with the rock. The hyenas were trying to push it back open.
Zozo, can you turn us invisible? Then we can sneak out.
There's too many of them. Even if we're invisible, they'll bump into us and find us.
Go and defeat the hunter, Zozo. Make sure all the animals are safe.
Neville, what are you saying? Don't do it! Neville then pushed the rock out of the way and ran outside. No, Neville! Neville ran outside as the hyenas chased him, getting hits in. There was no way he was going to survive. I heard and had Patrick climb on my back, and then I activated the totem. We both disappeared, and we ran. We watched as Neville was defeated. We had to get out of there. We had no choice but to leave. On day 63 to 66, we arrived back at the base. Patrick and I were very sad that Neville was gone, but we were going to make sure his sacrifice wasn't in vain. I had my totem, and there was no way I was going to let anyone steal it again. I made an even better safe and hid that in a secret spot in my room. Nobody would ever find it here. We helped all the animals in their new homes and planted some more food in the garden. We went to work on the statue, but noticed it was already finished. Who finished the statue?
We did.
The lions came up to me and all bowed at my feet.
We owe you our lives, young zebra. We hope you accept our work on your statue as a way to show our gratitude.
Wow, it's not every day that the king of the savannah bows to you. Thank you, but I'm not the true hero. Neville sacrificed himself so that I could get the totem back. You should be honoring him.
Then we shall honor our fallen friend and build a statue of him as well.
We all worked together and made a statue of Neville standing on the landing of our other statue. He was raising his trunk in triumph. It was perfect, and I knew Neville would have liked it. On day 67 to 70, I woke up to Patrick taking pictures of me again.
Wonderful.
Patrick, not now. I'm trying to sleep.
Sorry, but I had a thought, Zozo. What if the totem totem gets stolen again, or even lost while we are inside the base. We definitely need a backup plan. We should scout out the base, just in case.
That's a really good idea, Patrick.
Perfect. I'll meet you outside. Don't forget your totem, just in case.
He left and I looked toward my safe. I actually felt safer with it here, so I didn't bring it. I would tell him later. We gathered the animals to let them know we were leaving. We told them that if any animals came by, they were more than welcome to stay, unless they were hyenas. And don't forget to shut the door all the way. One of the lions looked away in embarrassment, but he understood. All right, we will be back in time to make some final preparations. Then we will get our friends and families back. Everyone cheered to that and we took off. On the way there, Patrick took some pictures while I gathered some seeds. We also ran into some small monkeys. We told them where our base was and they started to head that way. It felt good to know that we were helping. On days 71 to 74, Patrick and I snuck around to the same spot where Barry and I had been earlier. We looked around the base and it seemed bigger than the last time.
I can't believe it.
I looked where Patrick was looking and I saw Barry. It looked like he had gotten bigger. There were other baboons there and Barry seemed to be bossing them around. He sold us out so he could be the boss of the baboons?
Well, I guess so.
I still couldn't believe it. Barry had been my friend and he seemed genuinely interested in helping me.
Hey Zozo, I'm glad you are my friend.
Thanks, Patrick. Where did that come from?
I was just thinking, and you've been really awesome to me. Just wanted to thank you for everything you've done.
Then Patrick hugged me. Thanks, Patrick. All of a sudden, we were surrounded by baboons. How did I not even notice?
Right on time.
I looked and I saw Barry looking down at us. We don't want to fight you, Barry.
Well, that's funny, because I do want to fight you.
Barry swung his arm and smacked Patrick. No, stop it.
As soon as you give me the totem.
What? The lion's tooth necklace? It doesn't exist. You know that.
No, Zozo, the totem of invisibility that you got.
What? How did you find out about that?
I have friends on the inside.
All of a sudden, Patrick got up and walked over to Barry. No, Patrick, you're working for him? Why?
I had to, Zozo. After our base was attacked the first time, Barry told me to keep my eye on you. He threatened to hurt you if I didn't help him. The hunter wanted more animals, and they told me to gather them all in a safe place so they could collect them later.
How have you even been talking?
I've been sneaking out at night. I told them about the totem a few days ago. The lions thought they had left the door open, but it was me. It's all my fault. Neville is gone.
Patrick hung his head down low. He looked so sad. Barry hit Patrick again.
Enough, you. Now, Zozo, give me what I want, and maybe I won't hurt Patrick again.
I don't have the totem with me.
What? Why didn't you bring it?
I thought it'd be safer at the base. Why do you need it anyway, Barry?
Why do you think? The hunter will be able to turn invisible and trap any animal he pleases, and I'll be its right-hand man, or baboon, king of the monkeys.
It won't even work for you, Barry. It only works for the pure of heart. I had to earn it.
So you say. I think you just think you're better than me.
He hit Patrick again. Stop it. I'll take you to our base.
That's just what I wanted to hear. Move it.
On days 75 to 78, we slowly traveled back to the base. Patrick and I were bound and dragged behind the other baboons. I wondered why they even agreed to help Barry. I tried to talk to one of them. Psst, hey, we can get you out of here and you can live with us. You'll be safe there. The monkey looked at me sadly.
We'll never be safe, not with the hunter and Barry around. It isn't the worst, actually. The hunter gives us food and a place to sleep, but we are basically his servants. We can't leave because they'll just find us again.
I felt really bad for the monkey, but we couldn't give up now. We can defeat them. If you help us escape, we can all work together. The monkey thought about it for a second, but then Barry started yelling.
Hey, no talking to the prisoners.
He hit the sad monkey, who immediately ran up ahead, pulling me along. Well, at least I tried. We soon stopped at a water pond to rest. I walked over to Patrick. He wouldn't even look at me. Patrick, I know why you did all of this, and I don't hate you. He looked at me.
Really?
Yeah, you were just trying to protect me, but I'm not giving up. We will defeat Barry and the hunter if it's the last thing I do. Patrick looked back down at his feet and sighed.
I don't know, Zozo. We're all kind of in a sticky situation.
I think maybe we can get the baboons on our side. All of a sudden, Barry hit me.
No talking, prisoner. Keep moving.
I tried to formulate a plan the rest of the way. At this point, we just had to hope for a miracle. On day 79 to 84, we were getting closer to the base. Suddenly, Barry stopped.
Bring Zozo forward.
The sad baboon brought me closer to Barry, still keeping me bound.
Zozo, you will go in and retrieve the totem. You will then tell all the animals to gather outside for a meeting. You won't tell them about us, or I will destroy Patrick.
I'll do it. Just don't hurt him again. I made my way to the base and went inside. A few animals greeted me and I quickly said hello, then walked away. I went to my house and opened the safe. The totem was still inside. I grabbed it and went back to the middle of the base. Everyone, I need your attention. Patrick and I have an important announcement to make, but we need you to come outside to see. The animals all gathered together and we started to go outside. I felt so bad, but I hoped that maybe we could defeat the baboons and Barry together. As we walked out, I didn't see anyone. Where did they go? Then the baboons and Barry jumped down from the tree. trees. They ambushed us and my friends started to panic.
Zozo!
It's okay, I'll handle this. I was just about to attack one of the baboons when all of a sudden they surrounded Barry.
Wait, what? What are you doing, you fools? Capture them!
Stay down!
It was the baboon that I had talked to. I guess he had gotten the other baboons to agree to fight. Hey, you're helping us.
We want our freedom back, and you seem like a capable guy. We'll help you.
Perfect. Wait, where's Patrick? I heard Barry laugh.
It's too late for your friend, Zozo. He's gone.
No! I ran further into the trees. I looked around and I finally found Patrick. He was sitting up against a rock. He didn't look good at all.
Hey, buddy, did we win?
This one, yeah, but we still need you for another fight. Patrick laughed weakly.
I'll try my hardest, but I'll need some help.
Of course. I helped him up and let him ride on my back as we slowly made our way back to the base. We got back to the clearing, but we didn't see Barry anywhere. Where's Barry? The animals all looked at each other.
I thought you were watching him.
Me? I don't even know who that guy is.
The animals all grumbled and pointed at each other. I shook my head. It doesn't matter. He's gone now.
Wait, look!
Barry had gone into our base. On days 85 to 89, I chased after Barry. He had some flint and steel and was going to light our base on fire. Barry, stop! This is crazy!
You can't stop me, Zozo. I'm going to be king of the monkeys if it's the last thing I do.
Strange. That's what I was thinking earlier, but about my friends. Barry, stop. It isn't too late for you to change. Why would you want to be king of the monkeys when you can be a friend to all animals?
You sound like a hippie.
What's a hippie?
Never mind. I'm done talking.
Barry set the side of the ostrich enclosure on fire when all of a sudden a big splash of water rained down on him, extinguishing the fire. I looked up and saw the water had come from the trunk of the Neville statue.
We added a water feature while you were gone.
One of the lions was pressing a button on the side of the wall. What absolutely perfect timing. I walked towards Barry. This is your last chance, Barry. Come join us or I'll have to defeat you. He looked so angry.
No, I will be king of the monkeys. I will.
All of a sudden, he slumped down and started to cry. I stood there, shocked.
I don't want to be king of the monkeys. Honestly, I just wanted some friends.
Well, to be fair, you have a weird way of showing it. I still didn't trust him completely, but I helped him up. It's okay, Barry. You have a home here. On days 90 to 94, Barry moved back in. Some of the animals weren't too happy about it, but he tried his hardest to make it up to them. He made some cool improvements to people's houses, the base, and even helped Patrick. He seemed to really feel bad about what he had done, but he was making it better. Later, he came up to me.
Zozo, I need to tell you something about the hunter's base.
Okay, what is it?
I know a secret way I can sneak into his base around the side.
Oh, awesome! So you can open the door.
It's not that simple. The controls for the gate are in his private room.
Ah, I see. I thought for a moment. You need to go back and pretend to still work with him. You need to betray him now.
What if he catches me while I'm trying to do this?
He won't. I'll be sure to protect you.
Okay, I trust you, Zozo.
On days 95 to 97, we all made our preparations. We forged armor and swords for everyone, just in case.
No, Zozo, I'm too weak still. I need to stay here.
But Patrick, I need you. We've come this far together, and I need you there with me.
He can ride on my back.
One of the lions bowed to Patrick.
I shall carry you, and I will promise your safety, good friend.
Patrick agreed. I'm proud of all of you. Today, we are going to rescue our families and our friends. The savannah will be free again. Everyone cheered, and we headed out to the hunter's base. On day 98, we arrived at the hunter's base. It looked the same as usual, which was good. Barry came up to me. All right, Barry, this is your cue. He looked nervous. It'll be fine. You remember the signal, right? He nodded.
Thanks, Zozo. You're a good friend.
He headed toward the side of the base and disappeared around the corner. We waited a few minutes, and then we heard a loud monkey call. That was our signal to go. Then we saw the front gate start to open. Good job, Barry. We charged through the front gate and into the courtyard. As we started looking around, I even saw my parents.
Zozo!
Mom, Dad, we're here to rescue you. My friend started working on getting the cages open while I headed upstairs. On day 99, I found the lair of the hunter. He had all sorts of animal pelts all over the place and even more guns. Sheesh, this place gave me the creeps.
I knew we would meet again, young zebra.
I turned around, ready to attack. The hunter was there, but he was holding Barry hostage. Give me my friend back, Hunter.
Oh, you mean this traitor? I don't think so. I think instead I'll just add him to my collection.
He waved his gun around the room full of pelts. No! I activated the totem and disappeared. I knocked the hunter away from Barry and told him to run. Then I charged the hunter. He blindly shot around the room, but he had no idea where I was. Barry wasn't so lucky though, and got hit as he made his escape.
That's a cheap move, zebra. Disappearing so I can't see ya.
Says the guy who captures animals and then enslaves them. He got a few lucky shots in, but I was able to deliver the final blow. I unequipped the totem and ran over to Barry. He had been hit and he looked pretty bad. Oh no, Barry, I'm so sorry. I promised I would keep you safe.
It's okay, Zozo. I did what I needed to do. Thanks for being my friend.
Barry put his head down and was gone. He had made many mistakes, but in the end, chose to do the right thing. On day 100, I felt a surge of power, and I leveled up into a large adult zebra. I was stronger than ever, and knew that from now on, I could protect all of the animals in the savannah. My friends had figured out how to open the cage doors, freeing all of the animals from the hunter's base. I was finally able to talk to my parents. It was a beautiful reunion. We were all free at last. If you want to see what I'll do next, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. video. Thanks for watching. On day 1, I spawned in as a baby Na'vi from the movie Avatar. I was surrounded by a bunch of other Na'vi, but I was the only baby. Why am I a baby? Are you my parents? Just then, Colonel Quaritch showed up with a bunch of soldiers.
Consider this a warning. In 100 days, I'm going to attack and destroy the Tree of Souls. Without the Tree of Souls, all the Na'vi will disappear.
Everyone around me was angry, and they attacked. It was no use though. We were no match against the Colonel and his men.
Quick, Zozo, take this.
My parents threw me a ceremonial bow and some arrows, and told me to hurry and hide deeper in the cave. No, wait! My parents joined the fight, but they too were quickly defeated. I had no choice but to run away and hide in the cave. I have 100 days to stop the army from destroying the tree, but how can a baby like me stop an entire army? On day 2, I ran deeper into the cave. I had to be careful because I only had 4 hearts. Just then, I heard footsteps behind me. Someone was coming. I hurried and hid. A few military guys came running up and stopped in the tunnel.
Did you see where that little baby Na'vi went? Colonel is going to make us do 200 push-ups if we don't find him.
You mean that baby?
Uh-oh, they saw me. I hurried and pulled out my bow, trying to hold them off. It's not working. I can't die already. Suddenly, something came running up to me. It was a hexapede.
On my back. Hurry. What's your name, little guy?
It's Zozo. What about you?
Nikayu. Pleased to meet you.
On day 3, Nikaru and I had reached an area deep in the woods. The space was filled with all kinds of creatures. Wow, I was wondering where you guys went to hide from the soldiers. Nikaru then brought me to the wise old leader of the hexapedes.
And what brings such a small Na'vi to a place such as this?
I told him about the soldiers and how they had ambushed my colony. I also told him that I had less than 100 days to save the Tree of Souls.
If they destroy the Tree of Souls, all life on our planet will disappear. We must protect the tree at all costs. You aren't planning on taking the whole army down alone, are you?
They took out my whole tribe, so it's just me.
You're going to need all the help you can get. I'm too old to fight, but please take these supplies to aid you on your journey.
Thank you. I don't know how I'm going to stop them yet, but I will do everything I can.
We believe in you, but be careful. Colonel Quaritch will not hesitate to destroy anyone who stands in his way.
I nodded and prepared to leave. Before I could get too far, Nikaru stopped me.
This battle affects us all. I'm strong and can help you in the fight.
I would love to have your help. Let's do this. On days 4 to 5, I decided it was time to start preparing myself for the fight. I went around punching trees and got enough tools to make myself a crafting table. With the crafting table completed, I then made myself a wooden pick. Let's get stony. Using my wooden pick, I mined a bunch of cobblestone, then used the cobblestone to craft a full set of stone tools. After I finished crafting, I realized it was starting to get late. I better start building my base. I can't risk getting attacked at night. I quickly got to work, building myself a base. I had found a giant tree and decided to build a base inside of it. I built rooms for both Nikaru and me to live in. It's just a simple base, but it should keep us safe for now. By the time I finished building, it had gotten late. That's when some spiders attacked out of nowhere. Oh no, I spoke too soon. I swung my sword furiously and was able to take them all out. Just then, I felt a burst of energy and gained 10 hearts. Oh yeah, I'm even stronger. Before I went to bed, I decided to set up some torches. No more random mob attacks for me. On days 6 to 8, I woke up and decided to check the village from earlier for survivors. As I looked around, I saw that the soldiers had totally trashed the place. Then I saw a girl running from a soldier. Hey, why don't you pick on someone your own size? The soldier heard me yelling and stopped running after the girl. Then he turned and ran toward me. I had gotten stronger, so I wasn't afraid. I used all of my weapons and abilities, but he was still really strong. It was an intense battle, and we ended up on a balcony. I swung as hard as I could and knocked him over the edge. As the soldier disappeared, I saw he dropped something. The girl he was chasing ran over and picked it up. Find anything good?
It looks like a map to a prison. Thanks for taking that guy out, by the way. What's your name?
My name's Zozo. What about you?
Neytiri.
Nice to meet you. What were you doing out here anyway?
When these soldiers attacked the village, I escaped during the fighting. I came back to try and find my parents.
It looks pretty empty here, but maybe the prison on that map is where they're being held.
I'll try anything. Let's go.
On days 9 to 10, Neytiri and I made our way toward the prison. We carefully followed the map and soon saw a small prison in the distance. That must be it, but it looks like there's no guards.
Let's get closer and find out.
Just then, a grenade was tossed in front of us, blinding us. When we came to, a tough-looking soldier jumped out and attacked. They must have seen us coming. I tried my best to fight him off, but he was too strong. This was a fight I wasn't going to win. Neytiri and I had no choice but to jump down the tree and run away. Once we had gotten far enough away, we paused to talk. It looks like we're not strong enough.
This all feels so helpless.
Don't worry, we can figure it out. In the meantime, you can stay at my base. On days 11 to 12, Neytiri and I arrived back at the base. I hurried and built her a room to stay in.
Thanks for looking out for me, Zozo.
No problem. I wanted to ask you though, what do you know about the Colonel and these humans?
I doubt I know much more than you, but when our village was under attack, I did overhear the Colonel saying he will rule over our planet once we're all wiped out.
We can't let that happen. I was feeling angry about the Colonel, so I decided to look for more materials. I soon found some iron and coal. Back at the base, I loaded up some furnaces and started smelting. Then I crafted some iron tools, along with some iron boots and leggings. Neytiri then came over to me and let me know he was feeling a little hungry, so I went out to try and find some food. After some walking, I found some carrots. Oh yes, I'll love these! I returned back to the base and dropped off the carrots to Neytiri, then headed outside to start a carrot farm. Now we'll never run out of food. On days 13 to 15, I wanted to get stronger, so I asked Neytiri if she could help.
The strongest warriors would train by hunting manticore, but only the adults. True warriors never harm the babies.
Okay, I'll give it a try. I left the base and soon found myself in a tundra. The manticore should be close by. That's when I noticed some manticore feathers on the ground. Aha! I must be getting close. I looked a little further when I saw two manticores up ahead, a baby and its mom. I started to sneak toward the adult when suddenly a couple military guys jumped out and took out the baby. Those cowards! They then tried to fight the mom, who quickly took out one of the soldiers. It wasn't enough though, and the other soldier took her down. I rushed in. What do you think you're doing?
The Colonel has given us orders to destroy all the animals. We can't have you Na'vi trying to get stronger now, can we?
That's assuming I'm not strong enough already. I charged at the soldier, angry at their disrespect. The soldier thought he was a tough guy, but in a few moments, I showed him up and took him out. As he disappeared, I saw he had dropped a manticore heart. I picked it up and took it with me back to the base. Back home, I went over to Neytiri and told her what happened. Then I showed her the manticore heart.
That is what our warriors are after when they fight the manticores. Eat it.
Eat it? If you say so. I scarfed down the manticore heart, and to my surprise, I gained 6 more hearts. Now that's some powerful stuff. On days 16 to 19, I headed out to do some more exploring. As I wandered, I soon found an ogre village. As I watched the ogres living peacefully in their home, I suddenly remembered my own life, a time where I lived peacefully with my own parents. Those evil humans want to break up all these wonderful families. I won't let that happen. Speaking of which, a group of soldiers had just shown up, and they were attacking the village. The ogres all ran into their homes afraid. It was up to me to help them. Not today, humans! I charged in, using all the weapons I had at my disposal. These soldiers were tough, but with my training and upgrades, I was getting tough too. After a bit, I had won. A dad and his baby ogre came out of their house. He thanked me for defending the village, then offered me a jar to say thank you. Is this a jar of farts? I'll find a good way to put this to good use. Thanks. On days 20 to 22, I started heading back to my base. I was thinking about the jar of farts when I was attacked by a crimson mosquito. How do you like this? I unleashed the jar of farts, which took him out with ease. Well, that didn't stink. Later, I saw some iron ore, which I mined up. Back at the base, I smelted the ore into ingots, then crafted them into a chestplate and sword. With my new equipment, I returned to the prison. Maybe I'd have better luck this time. As I arrived back at the prison, I saw another stun grenade pop out. It was the guard. He fired his weapon at me, but I was able to sneak up behind him and knock him out of the tree. This guy was tough and managed to hit me with a poison dagger, which really hurt. Even though he had grenades and weapons, I was able to get him down to half a heart. Before I could finish him off though, he started to laugh. What's so funny?
Whoever you're looking for here is already dead.
I suddenly saw a vision of Neytiri's parents being interrogated in the prison. They refused to tell the Colonel anything about the Tree of Souls.
Then you will die. Goodbye.
Back in the present, the soldier tried to attack me again. He was weak though, and I finished him off. Inside the prison, I saw it was empty, apart from a necklace memento. I'll have to take this to Neytiri. Maybe it can help. On days 23 to 26, I arrived back at the base with some bad news for Neytiri. I soon found her. Hey Neytiri, I managed to get into the prison, but I'm afraid it's not what we were hoping for.
My parents are gone, aren't they?
I'm afraid so.
I thought that might be the case, but was hoping maybe I'd be wrong.
If it helps, I did find this. I gave her the memento. I could tell it really helped her feel better.
Thank you, Zozo. But hey, I have something to show you.
Neytiri brought me outside and showed me that she had collected some chickens. This was perfect, as I was starting to run low on feathers for arrows. I got right to work building them a chicken coop, then bringing them into it. I then went out to get more supplies. I found more iron, as well as some diamonds. I made an iron helmet to complete my armor set, then crafted a diamond pickaxe. To finish it all off, I got to work improving the base. I wanted to make it a little nicer for everyone. When I finished, I realized it was missing something. I think it just needs to be a little bit more avatar-y. On days 27 to 31, I headed out to find the materials I needed. On the way, I ran into a couple chocobos. Hey, are you guys okay?
We're looking for our favorite food, nightshade berries. These soldiers kicked us out of our land, so we don't know where to find it.
I don't know where to look, but I'll keep an eye out. I invited them back to my base in the meantime, to which they happily agreed. I soon came across the soul lights I was looking for and started mining. Suddenly, a flock of pateras started to attack me. Hey, I'm not bothering you. Leave me alone. I managed to fend the pateras off, and then I finished mining up the soul lights. Back at the base, I used the soul lights to finish the decorations. It was looking really great. I then built the chocobos their own rooms to stay in. They were really happy about that. Then Nekaru came running up to me.
The soldiers are attacking my herd. Come quickly.
I jumped on his back and we rode off to help. On days 32 to 35, we hurried back to the herd. As we arrived, I could see the place was filled with soldiers. We've got to help them. I rushed in, knocking out as many soldiers as I could. The hex beads had really hurt them, so I was able to finish several of them off. That's when I saw a soldier fighting the elder. Hey, get away from him! The soldier hit the elder, a hit he surely couldn't survive. No! I rushed in and took out all of the remaining soldiers. I approached the elder, but it was too late.
Zozo, stay strong and keep fighting. And please, keep looking after my son.
And before I could respond, he died. Nekaru, I'm sorry. I didn't know he was your dad. All I could think about was the moment my parents died. My heart hurt for Nekaru.
It's okay, Zozo. Looks like we're both orphans now.
We still have each other. You can stick with me for as long as you want. On days 36 to 39, I decided to spend some time out alone. It had been a rough few days. That's when I heard someone call out to me.
Hey, you! Wait!
What's going on?
My house has been taken over by a boar! Everyone is too scared to help me.
Okay, sure. I'll help. Tell me where to go. I headed off in the direction the goblin had pointed me. I soon saw the cave he described, and when I went inside, the boar attacked me. Hey, don't be so mean! The boar was tough, but I finally managed to beat them back. I was about to deliver the final blow when a voice cried out.
Wait! Please don't hurt my mom!
I turned and saw a baby boar. I asked them why they were in someone else's house, but before they could answer, the goblin from earlier showed up.
What are you waiting for? Take them out!
Wait, something isn't right about this. Just then, the goblin went to attack the boar. But before he could do any real damage, I stepped in and took him out.
Thank you! That goblin was trying to kick us out of our home.
Wait, that's what he said you did to him.
He was lying so you'd come after us.
That's when I noticed he had dropped a note. It was from the Colonel. It read, "Destroy as many animals as you can, and you will be rewarded greatly." He's trying to turn everyone against each other. We've got to hurry and stop him. On days 40 to 43, I arrived back at the base. I felt bad for everyone who had lost a friend or family, so I decided to improve the base. I went around and made each room a little nicer. Now that's looking great.
I'm really worried about the herd. My father had really given them a home.
Then tell them all to come live here. Nekaru went to tell the other animals, and I got ready, preparing a place for them to stay. We were all going to be one big happy group, and I couldn't wait for everyone to arrive. Just as I finished up, the chocobos from earlier came over to chat. They told me they were now big fans of carrots, but unfortunately they were going to need their favorite food. Otherwise, they couldn't survive. Okay, don't worry guys, I'll find it. They explained what it was and where I could find it, then I hurried off. On days 44 to 49, I arrived in the location that the chocobos had told me about. As I was exploring, I nearly ran into the Colonel.
Aha! I knew I would find you here.
What do you want?
You keep attacking my men and saving all the animals. Stop getting in my way.
I'll never stop, not until you're defeated.
Good luck with that.
The Colonel waved his arm, and a super soldier dropped from a Samson aircraft in front of me. The Colonel chuckled and left us to fight. This was going to be my hardest fight yet. The super soldier was strong, bigger than normal humans, and had attacks I had never seen before. He shot rockets from a tube he was carrying on his shoulder. What lab did this guy crawl out of? I did my best to hit him with my bow, but it didn't seem to do much damage. The arrows weren't working. Looks like it might be time to try something new. On days 50 to 53, I kept fighting against the super soldier. It was time to stop fighting from afar and get up close and personal. Take this! I charged in and started swinging my sword. With me being this close, his rockets were completely useless. Now that he wasn't hitting me as hard, it was only a matter of time. At long last, I delivered the final blow. Looks like I'll be the one fighting another day. As I looked around, I saw the Colonel had been watching the battle.
I'll be back for you, Zozo. Mark my words.
I charged at the Colonel, but before I could get a hit in, he threw a stun grenade right in front of my feet. When the smoke cleared, the Colonel was gone. I'm the strongest I've ever been, but it's still not enough. I have to get stronger. On days 54 to 57, I remembered I was supposed to be finding the Chocobo's food. At long last, I saw what I was looking for. As I got closer though, I was suddenly attacked by 2 hammerhead Titanothers. Oh man, I must be on their turf. The 2 hammerheads were incredibly strong, working together to hit me with their attacks. It wasn't enough though, and I managed to take one out. Uh-oh, looks like the other one is really mad now. The remaining hammerhead charged at me, no longer trying to be strategic. It wasn't much longer, and I had taken them out as well. As it disappeared, I noticed it had dropped poisonous skin. I bet I could use this to make poison arrows. Oh, this will really help me out. I then collected the nightshade berries and headed back to my base. Back at the base, I met up with the Chocobos and gave them the nightshade berries. They jumped for joy and told me that they could now access their special power. Special power? You should have mentioned this before. The Chocobos explained that they can tap into the planet's life force and communicate with those who have passed on, but only for short amounts of time. So, my parents. The Chocobos nodded and then put their head down. There was a glow, and suddenly I could see my parents in front of me. Dad? Mom?
It's us, Zozo. We're so proud of you and what you're doing. Keep fighting. We know you can defeat the Colonel.
There was another bright light, and they disappeared. Thank you for doing that for me. Now let's win this fight. On days 58 to 62, I got to work planting some of the nightshade berries so the Chocobos would have a constant supply. As I finished, Neytiri came up to me.
Thanks for getting these planted. I've been enjoying taking care of the other plants, so I'll make sure these are good as well.
I thanked her, then left to try and go find some more diamonds. As I went deeper and deeper into the mines, I soon found a whole bunch of diamonds. Before I could start mining though, I was attacked out of nowhere. What are you doing down here, you creep? I then mined up all the diamonds and went back to my base. With my diamonds, I made myself a couple of pieces of armor. Then I headed out to the farm and made some improvements, so Neytiri could feel happy while she worked on the farm. On days 63 to 66, one of the Chocobos came running over to me. They told me they had spoken to a great warrior who had died long ago. This warrior told him about a powerful weapon that could defeat the Colonel. That could be the very thing we need to win. The Chocobos told me that it was in a different biome and told me where to go. I set off right away, and I soon reached the vortex. As I searched, I soon saw a temple, and I noticed there was a Leonopteryx flying around overhead. As long as he doesn't bug me, I won't bug him. I approached the temple and headed inside. This had to be where the weapon was kept. Suddenly, a Thanator jumped out. I took my sword, ready to fight. Then the Thanator spoke.
Wait, don't attack.
I thought you were going to attack me.
Of course not. I'm super nice. This temple is my home, but some other not so nice mobs have kicked me out.
Oh man, well I'm looking for some kind of ancient weapon here. Do you know anything about it?
It's possible. The temple is filled with all kinds of old relics. Clear the place, and you can take whatever you want.
Deal. On days 67 to 70, I followed the Thanator deeper into the temple. As we walked, I noticed several pieces of art and books that looked like they were centuries old. Eventually, we stopped outside a room, and he turned to me.
They're in there. Viper wolves, and lots of them.
I'll take care of it. You hang tight. I ran into the next room, and sure enough, there were a bunch of Viper wolves. They immediately attacked, and I did my best to fight them off. My ticket to beating the Colonel could be hiding here. I had to win. Time to say goodbye. I kept swinging, and at long last, the Viper wolves were all defeated. I heard a noise in the corner and saw there were some smaller Thanators hiding nearby.
Thank you, Zozo. This is my family.
They all thanked me, and I took off to look for the weapon the ancient warrior had mentioned. I looked and looked in every nook and cranny, but there was nothing. Shoot, the weapon must not be here anymore. I met back up with the Thanator and invited him and his family to live at my base, but he said they were happy here. I thanked him for letting me look, and then left to go back to my base. On days 71 to 74, I left the temple as the Leonopteryx circled in the sky above. I paused for a moment. Did you know this isn't my first adventure? You can watch more of my videos after this one is over. Just search for Zozo, Z-O-Z-O. I was getting closer to my base when I came across a group of soldiers. More of these guys, huh? Not for long. I charged in and started taking them out. out. The less pesky soldiers there were, the safer the land would be. Soon, I had taken them all out. That's when I noticed one of them had dropped a note. It said,
To all soldiers, there is a Na'vi named Zozo who needs to be defeated immediately. I, Colonel Quaritch, am working on a special weapon to destroy the Tree of Souls. It will be done at the end of the 100 days, but this Zozo needs to be dealt with immediately. All soldiers will be on double shifts until he is destroyed.
It looks like I'm making a dent. But what is this weapon he's working on? I have to find a powerful weapon of my own, and fast. On days 75 to 78, I arrived back at my base and went to talk to the Chocobos. I went to the temple and searched everywhere, but I didn't see it anywhere. The Chocobo was really confused, as the spirits they talk to are rarely wrong. But unfortunately, they didn't have any other ideas. They promised to try and figure it out. I decided that in the meantime, I would improve the base. It was starting to look really good now. I could tell everyone was really happy, and I hoped it could always be like that. When I had finished making my upgrades, Neytiri came over to talk to me.
Zozo, I have some great news.
What is it?
I have been experimenting with the plants and developed a superfood. I want you to be the first to try it.
I picked it up and ate it down. It was delicious. Suddenly, I felt energy flow through me, and I grew even bigger, with even more hearts. Whoa, this is awesome! On days 79 to 84, I decided to test out my strength. I soon arrived in a new place and spotted the perfect test subjects. How do you like me now? I jumped in and managed to take them out in just a few hits. Now that's what I call power. Just then, I spotted someone watching me from afar. It was another Na'vi. He came over to me.
You're pretty strong.
Thanks. I can take on anyone.
You could be stronger though.
Oh, what makes you think so?
Well, I'm stronger than you. Check it out.
The Na'vi hit me, and he was right. He was strong. Ouch! Okay, you didn't have to hit me. I believed you. What's your secret?
Come, I'll show you.
The Na'vi then put me through a training program. He had a lot of good advice, and I was able to learn so many new things in a short amount of time. Once we were done training, the warrior tossed me an upgraded bow. Thanks, I'm feeling even stronger already. By the way, how did you get so strong?
It was my mission to ride a Leonopteryx, but I've never been successful. Now I don't even know where to find one.
I didn't know you could ride those. I actually saw one not too long ago. I could show him to you.
No, I'm much too old now, but I think you could do it.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. Say, why don't you come live at my base with me?
No thanks. The wilderness is where I belong.
I thanked him for his help, then turned to go back to my base. On days 85 to 89, I returned to the base and saw it had been attacked. Buildings were broken and no one was around. Oh no, what happened? Where is everyone? I ran around the base, looking to see if I could find anyone. I soon found Nakaryu. He was injured and hiding in one of the ruined buildings. What happened here?
The soldiers, they came out of nowhere. They took Neytiri.
Oh no, I have to save her. Where did they go? Are you okay?
Yes, I'll live. Quick, they only left an hour ago. They went that way.
I hurried in the direction Nakaryu had mentioned, looking for any signs of the soldiers. Then I heard someone calling for help. Neytiri! I ran toward the sound, but saw it wasn't Neytiri. It was a dire horse, who was clearly injured. Before I could say anything, it spoke.
Are you looking for that girl?
Yes, have you seen her?
I tried to stop them, but they knocked me out of their way. They're moving quickly, faster than you can run. But there is another way.
What's that?
Nearby is a special plant. Blue orchids grow on top of that tree right over there. Harvest one of the leaves and rub it on my wound. Then I can carry you to them in no time.
Okay, show me the way. He told me where to go, and I ran off. I soon saw the tree. It was extremely tall, and the leaves I needed were at the very top. Let's get jumping. I jumped from branch to branch, doing my best not to fall. At long last, I reached the top and grabbed the leaves I needed. Sometime later, I was back by the dire horse. I applied the leaves, and he immediately hopped up.
Hop on, there's still time.
On days 90 to 94, the dire horse and I could see the soldiers appear in the distance. There was no time to waste. As we got closer, I could see Neytiri. She was being guarded by a few guards, as well as another super soldier. But this super soldier looked even stronger than the first one. I jumped off the dire horse and told him to get a safe distance away. I faced him. Let her go!
Come to save your friend, huh? You'll never win. Get this Na'vi punk out of my sight.
The normal soldiers charged at me, but I knocked them out with just a few hits.
Huh, you're stronger than you look, but not stronger than me.
The super soldier charged at me, unleashing a special attack. I didn't see it coming, and it did a lot of damage. This was going to be tough. You'll never take our land, our people! I took out my bow and landed a perfect shot, which seemed to disable his special attack. Now the fight was really on.
You'll pay for that.
On days 95 to 97, our battle raged on. He was madder than ever, now that he didn't have an advantage. Both of our hearts were dropping, and it was only a matter of time until one of us fell. Suddenly, he stepped back. One more hit, and I would win.
You think beating me changes anything? I've done my job already.
What is that supposed to mean?
The Colonel has already completed his weapon to destroy the Tree of Souls. We took the girl to take you out of the game. You're too late.
No! I jumped toward him and destroyed him for good. Then I noticed he dropped something. With this, I can do his same special attack. I quickly freed Neytiri. Hurry back to the base using the Dire Horse. I'm not strong enough to defeat the Colonel yet, but I think I know what I need to do. Neytiri nodded and ran off to find the Dire Horse and get back to the base. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm crazy enough to try. On day 98, I rushed back to the temple. The ancient warrior said this was the location of the weapon, but he never said it was inside of the temple. I looked up at the Leonopteryx. If I can tame it, I'll finally be able to be the ultimate warrior. The Leonopteryx kept flying around, ignoring me completely. I thought about it for a moment, then pulled out my bow. I aimed and fired. The arrow was a direct hit. The big bird let out a screech and headed right at me. Oh boy, I may have really stepped in it this time. The bird swooped down to hit me. I jumped to the side and tried to get on its back. I was close, but missed. Shoot, I've got to keep trying. The bird was interested in attacking me now, and I did my best to avoid it. Sometimes it hit me, but most of the time I was able to land on its back. Finally, after several attempts, it worked. Got you. The Leonopteryx was mad at first, flying around like crazy, but soon it recognized it had lost, and soon it was smooth sailing. We bonded through the flight and soon landed back on the ground. I hopped off as the bird flew away, and suddenly I felt the power flow through me, and I leveled up into my biggest, final form. At long last, I'm ready to take this Colonel down. On day 99, I returned back to the village where it all began. The Tree of Souls was nearby. I passed through the tunnels I had run through nearly 100 days ago. I had grown so much since then. Suddenly, there was a flash of light, and I could see my parents standing before me. I was so close to the Tree of Souls, it made it possible for them to show themselves to me. Mom, Dad.
Great job, Zozo. We've been watching your journey and are so proud of everything you've accomplished.
Thank you. I just wish I could have saved you too.
Don't worry about us, son. Everyone on the planet is counting on you, but we know you can stop the Colonel and save our way of life.
I will do my best.
We will be watching and supporting you. Do not lose hope.
There was another flash of light, and they disappeared. I soon emerged from the tunnel into a large cavern. I could see the final tunnel to the Tree of Souls, but an army of super soldiers were blocking the path. Oh no, how could I possibly get past all of them?
You won't be alone.
I turned and saw Nakaru, along with all of the friends I had made along the way.
We will distract them. You go for the Colonel.
I don't deserve friends as great as you.
We don't deserve a friend as great as you.
I smiled and thanked them for being my new family. It was going to be a tough fight, but it was for our home. Everyone ready? Attack! My friends charged at the super soldiers, who were shocked to see that they were the ones being overpowered. As they fought, I saw a chance to run through the tunnel. I took it and headed in. Hopefully my friends could stay alive long enough for me to take the Colonel down. On day 100, I entered another large cavern. In the center of it was the Tree of Souls. It was still standing, but the Colonel was in a mech suit, shooting it with energy beams. Colonel, it's over. I'm here to stop you for good. You'll pay for the lives you've taken.
Stop me. Can't you see you're too late? This weapon can't be stopped, especially by a weakling like you.
You'll have to destroy me first.
I've spent 100 days developing this weapon. That will be easy.
The Colonel then turned and fired his beam at me. It landed near me, causing an explosion. The explosion knocked me to the side, causing a lot of damage. I hurried and got out my bow, firing off arrows as fast as I could. I got some hits in, but it looked like it wasn't doing much damage.
Arrows? Really? Do you see what you're up against? Give up now, and I'll let you stay alive as my pet.
I'll never stop fighting! He shot off a beam again, this time hitting me. It nearly took all of my hearts. I ran and hid behind some rocks so that I could hurry and heal up.
See what I mean? You have no chance, cowering like a small child, because that's what you are.
Just then, I saw a wood sprite land near me. A wood sprite? It's a pure seed from the Tree of Souls. I could tell it wanted something with me.
Accept me.
I closed my eyes, and the wood sprite flew into me. I felt myself get stronger. Suddenly, more and more wood sprites started to appear and start flying into me. The power of generations began flowing through me. I grew even bigger, and now had 100 hearts. I stepped out to face the Colonel again.
What? How?
You failed to understand the world around you, and so now you'll fail to defeat me. The Colonel yelled and started firing his energy beams at me. They still did some damage, but I barely felt a thing. I charged at him, sword in hand. I jumped into the air, slamming my sword down on top of him. His suit exploded, and he was destroyed. The world was safe once more. I celebrated with my friends. If anyone else tried to hurt us again, we would be ready. On day 1, I spawned in as a land shark, the most awesome carnivore ever. I'm a real fish out of water. I've got 9 hearts from the start because sharks are naturally born tough. And even though I'm tiny, I still have a bite. Looking around, I saw that my starting area was a desert, or should I say, a sea of sand. But there aren't any other sea creatures anywhere. I wanted to go find some fish to eat, so I started swimming through the land in search of a nice meal. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. I eventually ran into another animal, but it was a tarantula. I heard that they were poisonous, so I didn't want to eat it, but it definitely wanted to eat me. That's no way to treat the top of a food chain. Wait, am I even at the top of a food chain? I swam away from the tarantula and soon discovered that I had the ability to dive inside of sand blocks to hide. I stayed under the desert's surface until the tarantula got bored of looking for me and moved on. Then I popped back up out of the sand. I didn't expect other things would try to eat me today. While I was thinking, a coyote tried to snack on me too. It took off a few hearts, but this time I fought back. As I expected, my bite packed a real wallop. I celebrated my win by chowing down on some coyote meat. It wasn't that tasty, but at least it kept my hunger meter full. I'd look for something better to eat tomorrow. Until then, I'd take shelter inside of a sand dune. On day 2, I resurfaced and went on to explore the desert in search of materials. At a nearby oasis, there was a grove of palm trees. I bit a few of them down and collected the wood they dropped. Ugh, that tasted gross! This is why I need tools in the first place. I got sick of biting trees pretty quickly, so I crafted a wooden axe to cut down enough of the remaining trees that I could make a complete set of wooden tools. While I was chopping, an octopus fell down from one of the trees. That was definitely the last place I expected an octopus to be. But then again, I was a land shark.
What's the big idea? Can't a guy hide in a tree peacefully without getting knocked down?
Sorry, buddy. I had no idea you were up there. What is an octopus doing in a tree anyway?
It's not safe to wander out in the open out here. There are huge spiders everywhere, and they're looking for me.
I thought spiders and octopuses got along. You have so much in common, like having 8 limbs and... that's about it.
We most certainly don't get along. And I suggest you find a place to hide too. The spiders out here are looking for sharks too. Sharks like you.
So they were hunting me. But why?
I've said enough. I need to find a new place to hide. Good luck.
The octopus ran away, but not before dropping some healing potions. He must have been prepared for the worst. I felt a little bad about taking them, but if he hid well enough, he wouldn't be needing them. On day 3, I decided to make the desert oasis into my base. I may have been able to swim on land, but having a source of drinking water around was never a bad idea. So I started chopping away at the rest of the palm trees to clear out an area where I could create my own personal retreat. Suddenly, a wild emu came bounding across the desert towards me. It was surprisingly fast and aggressive, but I was hungry, so that didn't stop me from taking a bite. The bird's attacks did a bunch of damage, so I was grateful for my higher starting health. Emus are trouble. If only I had heavy artillery. A couple bites later, and the emu was defeated. It also dropped a delicious golden drumstick. That looks yummy. I gobbled up the drumstick and felt myself begin to change. I became a bigger shark, and my bite damage increased to be as strong as an iron sword. My already great number of hearts also increased to 17. I tried my ability to dive into land on the grass blocks and found that I could now dive into those too. I bet this works on all kinds of blocks now. Now I can explore the terrain safely. I spent the rest of the day constructing my resort. It was made out of the palms I chopped down earlier. I also added a room for myself. To protect myself from mobs, I decided to also include a fence that surrounded the entire resort. On days 4 to 5, I went out to catch some rabbits to keep at the base for a steady food supply. I was a carnivore after all. I spotted some hanging around by some cacti, but a tarantula scared them away. Didn't the octopus say that those tarantulas were looking for me? I decided to get to the bottom of this and confront the spider directly. I hid and waited until he got close, and then I popped out of the ground to ambush him. I gave him one bite to show him I meant business, and then I gave him a piece of my mind. Hey, what do you want with us sea creatures anyway? The tarantula was startled by my ambush, but chuckled like he was remembering a secret.
You'll find out soon enough, Tasty Shark. Sous Chef has promised us tarantulas a bowl of her famous soup if we bring a land shark to her.
Sous Chef? Who is that?
You mean you don't know? She's only the fanciest and most renowned chef in the entire world. Her seafood cuisine is legendary, and very soon you are going to become a part of it.
But I'm not a seafood. I'm a land shark.
Then let's see if your flavor is the same.
The tarantula struck back with a bite attack that left me poisoned. I was taking gradual damage to my hearts from the after effects. That's one lousy status condition. I need to finish this quickly. My enhanced bite did the trick. A couple of those were too much for the tarantula, and he was no more. That's what you get for poisoning me. Even after the fight was over, I was still affected by the lingering poison damage, but thankfully, I had enough hearts remaining to wait for it to wear off. The total was way more damage than I was expecting. I even had to use a couple of healing potions I got from the octopus. I was lucky I took that tarantula by surprise. If he had ambushed me instead, that could have been it. I returned to the base to wait for my heart meter to regenerate. On days 6 to 8, I searched a nearby forest for some materials to craft an antidote to tarantula poison. I had a feeling that yesterday wouldn't be my last tango with those spiders, and I wanted to be prepared for next time. I found a patch of some plants with healing properties, which I could use to replenish my potions, but they wouldn't be able to neutralize the poison itself. I don't like it, but I think I need to capture a tarantula and study the poison. After that, I started flopping my way back over to the desert I'd made my home. I made my way across the dunes until I saw a tarantula, then I dove under the sand to hide. It didn't seem to notice me, so I waited for an opportunity to strike. But just then, another mob swooped out of the sky and attacked the tarantula. Whoa, what is that thing? It was a tarantula hawk, the tarantula's natural predator. It looked really tough, but it was distracted because it was fighting the tarantula. I emerged from the sand and took the tarantula hawk by surprise. The fight was won before it even began. Sharks are problem solvers. The tarantula hawk dropped something that would solve my poison problem, a rare poison resistance potion. I ate the whole thing in one bite. Hooray! With this, I won't take any extra damage from the tarantula venom. On days 9 to 10, I explored some nearby hills, which I could mine for stone and other sturdy blocks that couldn't be found in the desert. I had fun trying out my dive ability on a bunch of different surfaces. While I was diving, I fell into an area where a lot of carrot plants were growing. I'm going to take these and replant them at my base. Those rabbits will have to eat something before I eat them. As I was pulling up carrots, I felt like someone was behind me and turned around. It was a girl. She was dressed as a chef and carrying a really big knife. I hoped it wasn't who I thought it was.
I, sous chef, have found myself another shark. And I thought the only ingredients out here were carrots.
Oh no, it's exactly who I thought it was. See ya.
Wait, come back. Hey, Sharky.
Even though I was bigger, I was still just a fish. And a fish doesn't pick a fight with a chef. It never ends well. I swam as fast as I could until I lost her, and then I dove into the stone. For some reason, it was trickier this time. That's when I realized there was another shark trying to hide. Unlike me, this guy was a hammerhead shark. I bet building stuff is really easy for him.
Boy, am I glad to meet you. I thought I was the only shark left.
So did I. If you don't mind me asking, do you know where all the other sharks went?
That sous chef you just saw has been rounding up our kind and turning us into soup for her restaurant.
Soup? Oh no, I hate soup. And I'd hate being in it even more. She must be stopped. On days 11 to 12, my new hammerhead friend and I went back to my base. I made him his own room to make him feel right at home at my aquatic animals resort. Because stairs are really difficult to climb for finned boys like us, I decided to build in some pillars that we could use to swim up and down between levels. I was out getting more material when I was attacked by a giant snake. Let's hope my poison resistance works against snake venom too. The second it sunk its fangs into me, I was badly poisoned. My hearts were reducing quickly, so I ran back to base and started working on a new way to counter the venom. I knew that honey could help with curing poison, so I went and found a hive of desert bees, which I carefully transported to a safe location near my base. Now I have all the honey I need to avoid getting sick. I went back to fight the giant snake, and thanks to the honey and my healing potions, I was able to outlast it in a battle of bites. The snake dropped a rattle when it was defeated, and I had a feeling this was the key to building my poison resistance. I combined the rattle with some of the flowers and honey I had collected earlier and crafted an extra strength poison resistance potion. I drank it immediately. I'll bet I can become immune to all poisons if I keep making potions like these. On days 13 to 15, I was fast asleep in my shark bed when I remembered something from long ago, before I was even a baby land shark. It must have been a memory from a distant land shark ancestor. Back then, all of us land sharks swam through the desert together in a big group, or a shiver of sharks. There was always plenty to eat, and we always shared with each other. But one day, an army of tarantulas showed up and started capturing the sharks and their sticky spider webs. They dragged my ancestors to a huge cooking pot where sous chef was waiting.
Très bien. With this latest haul, I'll have shark fin soup to serve in my restaurant for years to come.
She was talking to an even bigger spider next to her, who appeared to be calling the shots for the tarantulas.
Boss, when do we get some of the soup?
You'll wait your turn. The other humans will get to sample my cooking first. Then maybe your spiders can have a chance.
Okay. Whatever you say, boss.
Now, let's get cooking.
I woke up from that terrible nightmare before I saw all the land sharks go into the cooking pot. That would have been far too scary for me, no matter how tough of a shark I was. How horrible! Now I know why there are so few of us land sharks left in the world. If sous chef had an army of spiders at her command, maybe it would be better for Hammerhead and I to keep ourselves hidden instead of going after her. On days 16 to 19, I was searching around the base for Hammerhead and couldn't find him. Hey Hammerhead, where are you? Are we playing hide and seek? There was a note left on my crafting table, so I read it.
Dear Zozo, I'm going hunting for some more food. If I don't come back before tomorrow, it probably means that I'm in trouble. Please come looking for me. You're the only friend I have in this world.
So that's where he is. He's in trouble. It had been at least a day since the last time I saw him, so going to look for him would be a good idea. I decided to go find my way to this trouble place he mentioned. Sure enough, it turned out to be a town for bandits and outlaws to the west of the desert. This place sure does look like trouble, but if my friend's here, I can't leave until I found him.
Hey, Zozo!
Hammerhead! You were easier to find than I thought.
I said I was in trouble.
And here I am. Let's go drink some milk at one of these saloons. I'm paying.
We walked inside one of the saloons and saw that there was a fight breaking out between some bandits. It seemed like a group of them were ganging up on one guy. Hey, that's not fair! Leave him alone!
Sharks!
The bandits screamed and ran away. I guess the sight of a big shark and his hammerhead friend was all it took to scare them off.
Thanks for the help, fellow sharks.
Huh? You're not a shark, you're a human.
That's where you're wrong. I'm a card shark, the slickest card player in the West. Here, have this crown as thanks for saving me.
As soon as I put on that crown, I grew up again and had 22 hearts. I also gained a pretty sweet dash attack. Thanks, card shark.
Did you both come to trouble to hide from sous chef? I do know a rumor that you might want to hear.
Are we sure we should trust this guy?
Let's hear him out before we judge him.
There's a legendary poisonous spice called the Chef Bane, which is said to ruin a cooking pot forever. If you sprinkled some of that stuff in her soup, she'd be forced to give up cooking. Then all of us sharks would be safe.
Wow, and you're really telling the truth?
Trust me, kid, I know a thing or two.
Even though it had seemed hopeless before, I now believed that there was a way to stop sous chef for good. All I had to do was find that Chef Bane. On days 20 to 22, Hammerhead and I returned to our base and found it under attack by those same bandits we scared away in trouble. This time though, there was a whole lot more of them, and they were throwing dynamite.
This will teach you nasty sharks not to mess with us bandits.
Oh yeah? Well, we're gonna teach you nasty bandits not to mess with us sharks. Right, Hammer?
Right.
Hammerhead and I worked together and took on the bandits as a team. We fought hard against the crooks, but our teamwork was too much for them, and we took them out. I was feeling so inspired by our teamwork that I had an idea. I should add a statue to the base. Things were coming along nicely, and I made some good progress on the first part. You can sort of see what it might be. I'd need to add some blue materials to get the statue's color palette just right, so I started mining to see if I could find any lapis. It would be a long way down, but I had to start somewhere. Once I gathered some stone, I decided it was time to upgrade my pickaxe. So I returned back to the base, where I crafted a stone pickaxe, which would help me mine much more efficiently. And if you want to be more efficient in finding my videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can find my channel easier. On days 23 to 26, Hammerhead and I teamed up again when our base was attacked by some super tough rock mobs. Uh-oh, those look like straddlers. We were able to defeat them, but their skin was so tough that a bunch of our teeth fell out.
Yo-yo, my teeth fell out.
Don't panic, friend. They'll grow back. As for the ones that fell out, I decided to craft a bow and make the lost teeth into shark tooth arrows. Time to go spider hunting. I hid in the desert with my dive ability and waited for some tarantulas to pass by. And when they least expected it, I jumped out and sniped all of them before they could even react. Now I can gather all the venom they dropped and make myself even more resistant to poison. I went back to the base and did just that. I had just enough time to drink another poison resistance potion before I heard someone outside asking if anyone was home. I answered it and saw that there was a frilled shark at the door.
Pardon me, is this arrow yours? I found it while I was hiding in the desert.
Yes, it is. Thanks for returning it.
Also, would you mind if I stayed here? I've got no home and there's a chef looking for me.
Of course you can. That same chef is looking for my friend and I too. We'll be safer if we stick together. I then added another floor to the base to make sure that frilled shark felt right at home. Then I added some guard towers next to the fence to make spotting incoming enemies easier. On days 27 to 31, I went back to the town of Trouble so I could get some more information out of the card shark. He was willing to do it, but only for a price.
I'll sell you this enchanted cookbook for some of your teeth. It'll tell you where you might find all sorts of ingredients, including the chef bane.
Just my teeth? You've got a deal, mister. I gave him a full set of shark teeth. In exchange, he gave me the cookbook. I opened it up and saw that one of the first locations listed inside was the Great Pyramid of Pizza. It appeared to be some kind of restaurant for rich mummies. I had a good feeling about what I could find there, so I swam off to the part of the sand sea where it could be found. When I arrived, I saw that the entrance to the Great Pyramid was guarded by a crypt keeper. He was standing next to a sign that said, "No sharks allowed." Yeah, that's not gonna stop me. I fired some arrows from a distance to draw him away from the door. Then I dove beneath the sand so he wouldn't know where I was. When the crypt keeper was looking around confused, I sprung up from the sand and gave him a big bite. He hit me before running back towards the door, but with my dash attack, I was able to bite him again and get inside the pyramid before he could stop me. He tried to follow me in, but I dove into the pyramid blocks and disappeared. He eventually gave up and returned to guarding the entrance. On days 32 to 35, I entered the grand dining hall where the mummies were being served their pizza. I used my diving ability to sneakily make my way around the room. I was hiding under a table when I saw a flying fish on a platter. It looked like he was being served so raw that he was still alive. I decided to ask him if he knew anything. Excuse me, do you know anything about a spice called chef bane?
Yep, I've heard of it. Sure wish I had some of it right now, so I wouldn't get eaten.
Do you know where I can find some?
Quiet down. The celebrity chef is about to make her appearance.
Celebrity chef? Oh no! Sous Chef entered the dining hall and rang a bell to call everyone to attention. She had tarantula bodyguards with her.
Attention diners, I am Sous Chef, and I will be your celebrity chef this evening. Our special is...
She looked down and saw me under the table.
Shark soup! Get that rotten shark!
Yikes! Sous Chef and her tarantulas ran towards me, so I used a dash attack to catch her off guard. She struck back with her cooking knife and sliced away most of my hearts. I would be sashimi if I took another hit like that, so I decided to improvise. Actually, tonight's special is tarantula salad. The mummies hungrily turned towards the tarantula bodyguards and started to attack them.
No, it isn't! Stop this!
I made a break for the exit. I hate to dine and dash, but this time I had to. While I was on my way out, the flying fish flew after me.
Wait, take me with you. I'm a carnivore too.
That's good enough for me. Welcome to the team, Mr. Flying Fish. On days 36 to 39, I convinced the others to let the flying fish stay inside of our base with us. What do you say, fellow sharks?
I thought this base was only for sharks who are hiding from the chef.
He's a fish, and we're sharks. Won't he be afraid of us?
It's fine. He can eat the rabbits we've been farming, and we have plenty for all of us. Once that was settled, I went to my room and consulted the enchanted cookbook that I got from the card shark in order to search for a new location to travel to in my search for Chef's Bane. Let's see here. The Great Pyramid of Pizza was a dead end. Oh, maybe I'll have better luck in the Marshmallow Swamp. Me and Hammerhead then proceeded to do some more work on the statue. The design was really starting to come together, thanks to the lapis lazuli I had been mining. On days 40 to 43, I was on my way to the Marshmallow Swamp when I thought I saw another land shark nearby. Hello there, my name is Zozo. Do you need a place to hide? The mob that I thought was a shark turned around and I realized that he was actually a dolphin. A land dolphin.
I'm good, thanks. I was just in the area looking for a heart of the sea. It's a kind of treasure usually found in the ocean, but for some reason, they can also be found on land in this place. It's pretty odd,
said the land dolphin to the land shark.
Point is that I did find a treasure chest with a heart of the sea inside, but there was a terrifying mantis shrimp guarding it, so I chickened out. They're all yours if you're brave enough.
Thanks for the info, Dolphin. Best of luck in your travels. I went to the place where the dolphin said he found the chest, and sure enough, the mantis shrimp was right there. Mantis shrimps were known for their lightning-fast attacks, so I knew that I had to rely on my toughness. I launched a few arrows before dashing into battle and biting away. The mantis shrimp knocked me back with a powerful strike, which did 5 hearts worth of damage, but that left him wide open. I drank a health potion and attacked him while he was recharging his attack. I did this a few more times before the mob finally fell. Alright, the heart of the sea is all mine. The door to the treasure chest opened up and I rushed in. When I opened the treasure chest, there were some prismarine blocks inside, along with the heart of the sea. Once I collected them all, I used them to craft a new shield with some of my spare shark teeth. This shield of the deep could provide me with some defense, while also draining health from enemy mobs. On days 44 to 49, I made it to the marshmallow swamp. It definitely lived up to its name, as there were white marshmallow blocks floating all throughout it. I took a drink from the black water, and I realized that it was coffee. It gave me a temporary energy boost and increased the distance of my dash attack. There were a bunch of pink oozes jumping around the swamp, so I used them to test out both my enhanced dash and my shield of the deep. Once I was done cleaning up the slime squad, I heard a cry for help from the swamp. It was a platypus.
Help! I wanted a drink of coffee, but I started sinking.
Don't worry, I'll help you. I dove straight into the coffee and rescued the platypus before swimming both of us to shore. It was unusual for a land shark to be swimming in liquid, but I was very grateful that it all worked out.
I, Platric Platypus, owe you my life, Sir Shark.
Please, call me Zozo. I'm on a quest searching for a legendary spice called the Chef's Bane.
Chef's Bane, You've come to the right place. You may not know this, but we platypi are experts in all things poison.
You are?
Absolutely. We're venomous creatures too. Chef's Bane is the ultimate in poisonous ingredients, but you won't find any in this swamp. We'll need to go somewhere a lot more tropical. Follow me.
With that, Platric began to lead me out of the marshmallow swamp. I felt like I could trust him, so I decided to follow him. On days 50 to 53, Platric and I arrived in a tropical region south of the marshmallow swamp. I checked the inside of the cookbook and saw that this area was called the Banana Pepper Beach and was known for growing the spiciest peppers ever known.
Look alive, Sir Shark. We're on the lookout for a very special purple pepper, which is a key ingredient for Chef's Bane.
Purple pepper, Platric. I'll positively peek around every part of this place until I've pointed it out.
Say it, don't spray it.
We split up and searched for hints of the purple pepper. I ended up at the seashore. Wow, I just realized that I'm a shark who has never seen the ocean. I didn't have time to think about that because I noticed the crypt keeper from the Great Pyramid of Pizza running towards me. I guess I interrupted his vacation. We fought, but this time I had my shield. After a few hits, he realized his health was being drained and he ran away. He won't bother me again. A little later, Platric and I reunited. It seemed like neither of us had had any luck finding the purple pepper.
We'll keep trying, Sir Shark. In the meantime, have a potion of poison resistance. You'll want to be practically immune when we find it.
I gulped down the potion and felt its effect make me even stronger against poison. On days 54 to 57, I returned to base to make some improvements. After swimming in the coffee swamp, I was eager to turn the Oasis pool into a more tropical habitat. So I planted some banana trees to spice up the place. With the trees in place, I decided that the pool needed a diving board, so I added that along with some decorations to make it feel far more relaxing. Now I'll be a land shark and a water shark, master of both worlds. Hammerhead, grilled, and flying fish all enjoyed using the diving board too. It seemed like the base was becoming more than just a hideout. It was our home, and we were family. Eventually, Frill came over and approached me.
Oh, hi Zozo.
Hey there, Frilled.
I noticed that you built the Shield of the Deep. It looks like it protects you really well, and I was hoping you could make me one too.
I would, but I need to go find another Heart of the Sea. Maybe the cookbook knows where I can find one. I returned to my room to look at the cookbook, but it wouldn't reveal the locations of the hearts of the sea. But it would let me know where more mantis shrimp were. It was just a hunch, but I decided to give it a shot. I made my way over to a nearby cave where I figured another mantis shrimp might be hiding. I managed to find another chest like the last one, but this time it wasn't even guarded. Lucky me! I looked inside, and there was another heart of the sea. Soon after, I crafted another shield of the deep and gave it to Frilled.
Thank you, Zozo. Here, I have some serrated teeth I can spare. If you equip them, your bite attack will be able to drain health, just like the shield.
It's an incredible upgrade. Thanks, Frilled. You rule. I put those chompers in, and I could already feel more awesome. Or should I say, jawsome. On days 58 to 62, I was making some really great improvements to the statue. It's really starting to come together. Can you tell what it is yet? Just then, I noticed that the base was swarmed by tarantulas. The tarantula leader that I saw in the flashback was there as well, so it looked like this was a planned invasion. But how did they know where we were? I thought to myself and remembered the cookbook. Card Shark, he must have sold us out. Hammerhead was right not to trust him. I ran towards the base to help the others defend it. Frilled and I both had shields of the deep and draining bites, so we could restore our health even as we faced getting swarmed by tarantulas.
Oh no, this poison is taking a real toll on me.
Right, I forgot. I'm the only one immune to poison. Go get some honey and cure your poison, Frilled. I'll go help Hammerhead. Hammerhead was the one I was the most worried about. He wasn't immune to poison either, and on top of that, he didn't even have a shield. By the time I got to where he was, Hammerhead was being dragged away. Hammerhead! He called out to me while the spiders took him away.
Make sure Card Shark pays for this.
Don't worry, buddy. I will. And then we'll come save you. I was so afraid. There was nothing I could do. My best friend had just been kidnapped. On days 63 to 66, I returned to the Village of Trouble in order to get back at Card Shark for selling the rest of us out. I barged into the saloon where he usually hung out and saw him in the middle of a card game. He wouldn't be for long. Hey, Card Shark, I need to talk to you.
Yeah, well, if it isn't my old shark friend, I'm surprised to see you here, and alive.
You know why I'm here. You betrayed us.
Now, remember the good times we had. I gave you that cookbook, remember?
Your cookbook didn't help me at all. All it did was lead me to a bunch of dead ends. The purple peppers to make Chef's Bane weren't even where they were supposed to be.
Of course they weren't. The Spider King already picked them all, so that no more Chef's Bane could be made. It was part of his deal with Sous Chef, and this is part of my deal with her.
He started throwing poker chips at me like arrows. I raised my shield and blocked them. Then I dashed in and gave the Card Shark a well-deserved bite.
Good one, but I'm tougher than that. I am a shark, same as you.
No, not anymore. He tried punching me, but I followed up with a harsh draining bite and defeated him. That was for Hammerhead. With Card Shark defeated, I left Trouble and followed the many footprints that tarantulas left in the sand. I hoped the Hammerhead was all right. I don't know what I'd do if he got turned into soup. On days 67 to 70, I tracked the tarantulas to Cobweb Castle. I knew that Hammerhead could be here, as well as the purple pepper ingredients needed to make Chef's Bane. There were a whole lot of tarantulas around, but I was a whole lot of shark, and their poison wouldn't work on me. I fought my way to the throne room and found Hammerhead restrained in a web.
Zozo, is that you?
Don't worry, Hammerhead. I'm coming to help you. I moved closer to the throne when suddenly the King of Spiders dropped down from the ceiling.
2 sharks for the price of 1. The boss is gonna be extra happy with me.
The boss is never gonna see you again, Spider King. Not unless you get out of our way.
Big talk for a silly little shark. Let's go.
I leaped at the King of Spiders and started biting his long, scary legs.
Ow! Is this what being bitten feels like? Can't believe I've been doing this for years.
The jagged shark teeth were too much for him. The Spider King ran off, leaving through a pathway. After that, I freed Hammerhead by shooting an arrow that destroyed the cobweb prison he was in. Hammerhead, let's check where the Spider King ran off to. Maybe the purple peppers are in there.
Good idea, Zozo.
From day 71 to day 74, Hammerhead and I entered the secret pathway that the Spider King had left through. On the inside, there was a creepy dungeon waiting for us.
Whoa, this place looks so spooky, Zozo. I don't want to spend too long here.
It'll be worth it if we can find the purple peppers and make the Chef's Bane, Hammerhead. But we were already too late. The purple peppers were gone, and there was a note from Sous Chef herself left in the empty dungeon.
You underestimate me and my minions, Zozo. They Did you really think I'd just leave the purple peppers here? Silly little shark. Only a chef of my caliber would know what to do with such an ingredient. I'd say I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's actually very funny to me. I'll see you at dinner, my dear.
Me and Hammerhead were devastated. All this work and risk for nothing.
It's okay, Zozo. At least you saved me. Let's go back to the base and figure out what to do next.
From day 75 to day 78, I brought Hammerhead back to the base. I didn't want any more spiders to invade us at night, so I put up a new layer of defense. Hopefully a little fire will scare those creeps away. That's when Hammerhead approached me and gave me an enchanted book. What's this, Hammerhead?
It's the sharpness enchantment, Zozo. It'll make your shark teeth extra sharp and dangerous.
Oh, heck yeah, just what I need. I went inside and applied the enchantment book to my teeth. And I got those extra sharp teeth just in time, because the king of spiders who narrowly escaped in the cobweb castle was back, and he meant business. Time to end this once and for all. As the king of spiders ran in, I lunged forward and chomped him. In one bite, he was finished off, and that made me level up. I grew into a land great white with 25 hearts and the water speed ability, which made me twice as fast in water. Even though I'm a land shark, this might come in handy later. But that wasn't the only thing that the king of spiders dropped. He also had a note, which I picked up and read. It must have come straight from Sous Chef.
Once Zozo has been destroyed, find the straddler in the forest. You know what to do.
I was starting to get really sick of reading notes from Sous Chef, but at least it could be a valuable lead. From day 79 to day 84, I searched the forest for the straddler. If he was somehow connected to Sous Chef, he might be able to give me some information. Straddler? Straddler? Hello? That's when the straddler emerged out of the forest, looking irritated.
Yeah, I'm the straddler. What's it to you?
I've heard that you might have something to do with Sous Chef, the villain trying to turn me and all my fishy friends into soup. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, of course I know about that. I've been trying to take her down for years. Maybe we can team up.
That sounds great.
But first, you see that cave next to me? I need you to grab a secret weapon I left inside.
I turned and saw a cave a few feet away, and there was a secret weapon inside? Perfect. I'll be right back, Straddler. I went into the deep, dark cave and was surprised to find inside was nothing. Could there have been some kind of mistake? I went back and saw the straddler standing in the mouth of the cave.
Sorry, kid. I worked for Sous Chef all along. You really shouldn't be so trusting.
He fired several arrows, and one of them even hit me. It was a tense moment, but I pulled out my own bow and fired back with even more accuracy. After a few arrows, the straddler was defeated, and I was alone in the cave. Whew, I really do need to be careful about who I can trust. On day 85 to day 89, I returned to the town of Trouble to meet somebody I thought I'd never need to talk to again. The card shark who, after I'd beaten him, was taken and locked up in the town jail. Thankfully, he was allowed visitors. I flopped down into the jail to see him.
Zozo, what the heck are you doing here? I didn't think you would ever want to see me again after what happened to your friends.
I figured after everything that happened between us, you owe me some information I can actually use.
I'm not gonna tell you nothing.
How'd you like it if I bit through the door of this cell and asked you a little closer?
Okay. What do you want to know?
Where can I find and defeat Sous Chef?
Find is one thought, defeat is another. You can find her in her kitchen on the Mushroom Island. But I warn you, Zozo, if you go to that island, you ain't coming back.
We'll see about that. This shark is never going into anybody's soup. And with that, I left the jail. There was no time to waste. From days 90 to 94, I worked on some new items and upgrades to my base. I can't take on Sous Chef without the best of the best of the best. I added a bunch of new upgrades to increase the effectiveness of my bow. Power enchantment that increases damage, and the punch enchantment, which increased the knockback power of my arrows. Hope you like your food spicy, Sous Chef. And also, to give myself a little extra boost, I made myself a few potions. A potion of healing, a potion of regeneration, and a potion of swiftness. And sharks aren't exactly fast, but this should offset that. I'm sure to win now. On day 95 to day 97, I finished the statue, a giant blue land shark, just like me. I'm very happy about how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It made me realize something. In all of my time here, I'd only seen a handful of other sharks. There used to be so many land sharks out there,
But now, because of people like Sous Chef, they were all gone. I couldn't let Sous Chef wipe us out. I needed to protect the land shark legacy and give our people a future. I'm gonna take you down, Sous Chef. You've made your last shark soup. On day 98, it was time to prepare for the final battle. I gathered all my friends together, the hammerhead shark, the frilled shark, and the flying fish. Guys, this is it. I'm gonna fight for the freedom of sharks and all fish. If I don't come back, then find Sous Chef on the Mushroom Island and defeat her for me. That's when Hammerhead Shark, my oldest friend, stepped forward.
Wait up, Zozo. I'm not gonna let you go alone.
Hammerhead, it's dangerous. She's gonna try and turn us to soup.
That's exactly why I can't let you go alone. Let's go together and finally finish this thing.
On day 99, Hammerhead Shark and I swam across the ocean until we reached the Mushroom Island. Let's go, Hammerhead. No time to waste. The island was guarded by particularly creepy creatures, mutant spider pigs. They spotted us and started to crawl towards us.
What are we gonna do, Zozo?
Don't worry, Hammerhead. I have a special weapon. I pulled out my fully upgraded bow and started firing, knocking back the mutant spider pigs. Look at that. I'm biting you without even touching you. Ha!
Zozo, over here. I found some prisoners.
I went to where Hammerhead was and saw that he had found a cage full of blobfish that Sous Chef had captured. You help them get back to the base, Hammerhead. I'm gonna defeat Sous Chef once and for all.
Good luck, Zozo. I believe in you.
On day 100, I continued alone across the Mushroom Island, looking for Sous Chef and her evil lair. Along the way, even more mutant spider pigs started rushing towards me. I used my upgraded bow to quickly dispatch them and clear the way. Will you guys get out of the way? I'm looking for your boss. After defeating the last few mutant spider pigs, I saw a secret chest on the island, with a sign next to it saying, Secret Ingredients. Hey, that sounds useful. I searched through the chest until I found a bottle labeled Potion of Evolution. I immediately added it to my inventory and kept moving. Soon enough, I found Sous Chef's true lair. She'd mined a huge crater into the ground and filled it with lava. It was the ultimate soup boiling pot, and Sous Chef was there, throwing ingredients in.
Welcome, Zozo. You're just in time. I've been working on the ultimate soup, but it's been missing something. I think it could really use a little shark to really make it pack a punch.
Oh, I'm here to pack a punch, Sous Chef, but it won't be in your soup. Sous Chef started to laugh at me, and as she laughed, she grew bigger and more powerful. She also equipped a huge diamond sword. This must have been her final form.
Big talk, but nothing to back it up. You don't even have the chef's bane. How could you possibly stop me?
Things have changed, Sous Chef. I used to want the chef's bane. Now, I am the chef's bane. I remembered my friends and got a surge of power and started to grow and change. I wasn't a land shark anymore. I was Land Megalodon, the biggest and most powerful shark in history, with 30 hearts. You wanted shark? I'll give you more shark than you can handle. I lunged at her. She tried to hit me with her diamond sword, but her sword was nothing compared to my razor-sharp Megalodon teeth.
Ouch! I was meant to eat you. You're not meant to eat me.
She tried to hit me, but I kept lunging forward and biting her. Sous Chef was stumbling backwards, losing her balance. You look a little tense, Sous Chef. Why not take a dip and cool off? With one more push from me, Sous Chef fell backwards and landed in her own soup. She was finally finished. I threw the Potion of Evolution into the fiery pit, which caused it to level up and change into obsidian. Now no shark will ever be cooked here again. With Sous Chef gone, I returned back to my base, where the hammerhead shark, the frilled shark, the flying fish, and the blobfish were waiting for me. Want to head out for a meal to celebrate our victory?
Sure, anything but soup.
On day 1, I spawned in as a mighty dinosaur. Well, not really. I was pretty small and only had 4 hearts. I'm just a baby. I looked around and noticed there weren't any other dinosaurs around. And then I noticed I was in an enclosure with tall walls. Hey, that's no fair. I want to run around and be free. I ran around looking for a way out. I couldn't find anything. Just then, I heard a bell go off and I saw some food being lowered into my cage. I was hungry, but I still needed to find a way out. The food lowered to the ground and I ate all of it. Then I got a brilliant idea. I held onto the hook as it was brought back up to the edge of the wall. I jumped on the edge, free from my enclosure. Then I jumped off and ran toward the jungle. Dinosaurs are meant to be free. As I was running, I saw a human in a car trying to chase after me. He started shooting at me. Ah! I managed to jump over a large tree that had fallen down, but the car couldn't get through. One human threw his weapon down in anger and yelled at me.
We'll get you back. Mark my words.
What a weird guy. I found a little cave and decided to hide out there for the night. I would go looking around for more dinosaurs in the morning. On day 2, I woke up feeling very hungry. Man, I'm gonna need to find more food if I want to survive out here. I quickly began chopping down some trees and managed to make a crafting table. With that, I made some wood tools. I feel a bit more prepared now. I explored further in the jungle and found some sheep. I hurried and got their meat before they could run away. I really needed to gain my strength back. Yummy. As I was enjoying my food, I heard a snap of a twig. I turned and saw a small ocelot trying to hide behind some bushes. Hey, do you want some food? The ocelot peeked out and slowly came and grabbed some meat from me.
Thank you.
Of course.
What are you?
I'm a dinosaur.
You won't eat me, will you?
No, I won't. Have you never seen a dinosaur before? The ocelot shook his head.
I know that park over there has dinosaurs, but I've never seen one until today.
Interesting. I wondered what that park was all about and why there weren't any other dinosaurs on the island.
Thanks again for the food. You take care of yourself.
You too. He ran off into the jungle. I need to figure out what's going on here. On day 3, I gathered some more materials to make a little base. I knew that the humans would probably be back, and I wanted to be ready for them. Once the base was finished, I went out to look for some food. Boy, am I hungry again! I managed to find a bunch of sheep and tried to herd them back to my base. But then, a bunch of alligators came and started attacking me. Get back, you nasties! I used my sword and my pure strength to fight them off, and before I knew it, they were all gone. Just then, I felt a surge of power, and I grew into a teenage T-Rex. Hey, I have more hearts now. I finished gathering the sheep and led them back to my base. I hurried and set up a pen for them. What a good day. On days 4 to 5, I made my way back to the park to scout it out. Maybe I could learn more if I watched what the humans were doing. I was searching around and found some rusty shears. These might come in handy. Just then, I saw a bunch of humans driving toward me. I ran through some rocks and dirt hills to lose them, but they just kept following me. I roared at them, and the force almost toppled their car over. That's new. This caused one human to fall out of the car. The driver didn't stop and they left him. He got out his weapon and started shooting darts at me. Hey, stop it! I roared again, and the force made him fall over. I was starting to feel the effects of the dart. Ouch! I felt pretty woozy. What was that? The human pulled out a walkie-talkie.
Dr. Holland, I have subdued test subject A. Come to this location to retrieve him.
I couldn't let the humans take me, especially not this Dr. Harland. He sounded like bad news. I mustered up my strength and smacked the human with my tail, sending him flying over a cliffside. I gotta get out of here! The sleeping dart definitely was doing its job, but I managed to get back home before completely passing out. I'll have to find that doctor tomorrow. On day 6 to 8, I woke up, still feeling a little groggy. That wasn't super fun. I need to be sure not to get shot again. I went out and grabbed some food before heading out to gather more supplies. I needed some better weapons to defend myself. I went further into the jungle and spotted a small mountain. I started to mine out some of the materials and set up a crafting table to make myself a new stone sword, pickaxe, and shovel. Nice! I was about to make my way further up the mountain when I saw some little jaguars hanging out. They're kinda cute. But that was short-lived because they started to jump and bite at me. Come on, guys, I'm not food. They didn't back down, so I used my new sword to fight them off. It only took a minute before I defeated them all. Thank goodness for that. Otherwise, I would look like Swiss cheese. I ate some food to heal, and I headed further into the jungle. On days 9 to 10, I journeyed past the trees to the edge of the island. It was beautiful. Too bad there were humans trying to hunt me down. Just then, I heard a screeching of tires and saw a car coming towards me. Wow, I was just thinking about the humans, and then they show up. Maybe I have superpowers. I started to think of it raining sheep and nothing. Well, it was worth a shot. I started to run away from the car, but they caught up to me pretty quick. The guy I had seen earlier who had thrown down his weapon was inside. He must have been Dr. Harland.
You can't run away from me now. You're mine.
Go away! The car soon caught up to me, and the humans had me cornered. Ah! A heavy iron cage made out of chains pinned me down.
Thank goodness for that tracker. We didn't realize it was attached to you until later because Jones never came back. But at least he did his job right.
Dr. Harland plucked something off my leg. It looked like a dart, but then I noticed a little blinking beacon. That human, Jones, must have shot me with a tracker a few days ago. I felt so silly. I don't belong with you. I belong out in the wild. Dr. Harlan just laughed. I was confused and desperate. I needed to get out. Just then, I felt a whoosh of air, and part of the cage was broken. I saw a blur of pink whizzing past me.
Run, Zozo!
I ran, following the pink blur back toward my base. When we finally stopped, I realized the pink blur wasn't just a blur. It was another T-Rex. The dinosaur jumped down from behind cover and scared me. I knew there were other dinosaurs on the island. I'm Zozo. The dinosaur smiled at me.
I'm Zoe. I'm your sister.
Sister? Wait, back up. What?
We're twins. I was put in a different enclosure though. I heard that you escaped, and everyone was freaking out, so I took my chance when they went looking for you and climbed out as well. They really need to work on their security system.
But hey, good for us though, right?
Right.
So, you're super fast? Zoe nodded her head and zoomed in a circle, demonstrating her speed.
What can you do?
I don't know. Am I supposed to be able to do something? Zoe looked a little uncomfortable.
No, not really.
Oh, wait, I can move things with my roar. It's like a sonic power. I showed it off.
That's really cool.
Do all dinosaurs have powers like us?
No, I guess we are just special.
Zoe seemed like she wasn't telling me something. I was going to ask her what she knew, but then I heard her stomach growl. Hey, how about I get you some food? You must be starving.
That'd be great, actually. Thanks.
We went to the farm and ate until we were both full. Zoe must have not eaten for a long time because she had double of what I had. How about you live here? It's safe, there's plenty of food, and I'd love for you to stay with me. Zoe looked really happy about that, and she readily agreed.
Sounds like a plan.
On days 11 to 12, I made an area for Zoe on the base. I worked hard to give her everything she would need in order to be comfortable. Soon, it was all ready to go. She seemed really happy to have found me, and I was happy to be reunited with the sister I never knew I had. I decided to go exploring a little bit to improve the base and the weapons that I had. While I was out, I came across a flock of birds nesting on some stones. They were beautiful looking woodpeckers. Hey, could I have some of that stone? They seemed friendly enough, but then out of nowhere they started pecking at me. Seriously? I tried to smack them, but they kept flying and then dive bombing me. I need to get out of here. I ran into the trees, hoping to get some coverage. They stopped attacking, but I really needed that stone. What am I gonna do? I looked around the jungle and noticed some long vines hanging from the trees. I had an idea. I gathered some of the vines, a couple small sticks, and a bunch of rocks. This should do the trick. I snuck back to the rock formation and attacked them with my new weapon, a slingshot. Take that! It worked perfectly, and before I knew it, all the birds were gone. Nice! And I have some food to take back to Zoe. I gathered the bird meat and started mining out the rocks. It took a while, but I finally got enough to make some new furnaces. This is awesome! I headed back to the base and showed Zoe my new weapon. She was super impressed and even asked if I could make her one. I happily agreed. She was super excited and shot with the slingshot towards the lake. Once that was done, I used some wooden logs to build a wall surrounding the base. It was all starting to come together. On days 13 to 15, I had a weird dream. I was back in the park, but it looked like I was in a lab of some sort. People were poking and prodding at me. I saw Zoe and she was chained down. Let her go! Then the dream changed and Dr. Harlan was there. He was presenting us to a large crowd of humans. He had trapped us in enclosures and we were chained. The humans stared and laughed at us. It was horrible. I woke from the dream with a start. Whoa, that was terrible. I went to go find Zoe. I told her about the dream and asked her what it meant. She hesitated.
We are lab experiments, Zozo. We aren't natural dinosaurs. Dr. Harlan grew us in the lab, giving us special abilities.
Why would he do that?
He's not just a doctor. He also owns this entire park over there. He genetically engineers dinosaurs for human entertainment.
That's awful.
But you and I are special. He made us specifically for a new exhibit he's working on.
This was a lot to take in. We were being hunted by an angry doctor and his goons. It felt like the odds were definitely against us. On days 16 to 19, I woke up to find that Zoe wasn't in the base. Zoe! I looked everywhere and called out to her, but I couldn't find her. I wonder where she went. I looked around the entrance and noticed some footprints. They looked a lot like mine, but were smaller. These must be Zoe's footprints. I followed them, leading away into the jungle. They stopped at the mouth of a cave. Oh no, I hope Zoe's okay. I tried to quietly creep in the cave, my slingshot at the ready. I heard some muffled screaming, along with some maniacal laughter.
That doesn't sound good. I went further down and I saw Zoe. She was all tied up. There was also a monkey tied up next to her. Around them were a bunch of big, hairy spiders. Oh, gross! I charged, shooting rocks as I went. The spiders looked alarmed and tried to scurry away, but I managed to fight them all off. I hurried and freed Zoe just as she yelled at me.
Zozo, look out!
I turned around, and there was the biggest spider I had ever seen in my life. Granted, I was only a few days old, but still.
You're taking my dinner.
That's my sister. She's not food. I slung some rocks at the huge spider before charging at him. He smacked me with his legs, and I was nearly down to my last heart when I remembered my roar. I let out a big roar. The force made the spider fall over. I then attacked with my tail and weapons, and within no time, he was gone. Victory is mine! All of a sudden, I felt power course through my body, and I leveled up into an adult T-Rex. Nice! I had way more hearts, and my tail could swing faster now. I helped finish freeing Zoe and the monkey.
Thanks for rescuing me. I'm Crew.
I'm Zozo. I looked over at Zoe, and she was shaking. Are you okay?
That was so scary. I went out this morning before you got up, and I was ambushed by those spiders. I tried to roar, but they tied my mouth closed before I had a chance to call for you.
I'm glad I found you. Being spider food wasn't really a part of my grand plan. Zoe laughed and Crew joined us.
You're from that park over there. I knew there were dinosaurs, but nobody has seen any.
Yeah, we managed to escape Dr. Harland, but he is kind of crazy. He wants to bring us back so he can make money off of us and all the other dinosaurs.
That's awful. How many more dinosaurs are there?
We don't know, but they don't belong in there. We need to help them escape. Crew thought for a minute.
I might be able to help out with that.
Really? How?
This island has been inhabited by dinosaurs before, a really long time ago. There was a T-Rex like you guys that had a special item that could ward off the humans.
That sounds awesome. Do you know where it is?
No, sorry. Legend says it's on the island somewhere, but nobody has found it.
This was good news. Maybe we could make the humans leave for good. On days 20 to 22, Crew came with us to the base. He seemed to really like us and wasn't scared like most animals were. He was also really funny and would ride on our back sometimes. Once we got back to the base, we tried to get settled in, but then a bunch of jaguars showed up, trying to get our sheep. Hey, there's enough food for all of us. You don't need to steal from us. They didn't listen and just continued to attack. With our combined strength, the jaguars were gone in no time. We made some improvements to the base, including a treehouse for Crew to hang out in. He really seemed to like it. Hey Zoe, would you want to help me with something?
Yeah, sure. What is it?
I want to make a statue. I want the humans to know that they can't mess with us, and I want all the dinosaurs to know that there is hope to be free.
That sounds awesome, Zozo.
We chatted about the design and started on the base of the statue. Can you tell what it's going to be? Also, if you like what you've seen so far, don't forget to subscribe. We love having you here on our adventures. On days 23 to 26, I woke up to the base being attacked again. They broke through the wall. I guess the jaguars had some reinforcements and didn't like that they couldn't get to our sheep. Come on, guys, really? Zoe and Crew joined me, and with their help, we defeated the jaguars in no time. I noticed that one of them had dropped something, so I picked it up. It was an iron sword. Whoa, neat! I swung it around and nearly jabbed Zoe with it.
Hey, watch it!
Sorry! I looked around the base for a minute. Maybe we need to make some changes to the base so that it's safer. Zoe agreed and we went to work. We worked on expanding the walls and making our own areas larger. We ran out of supplies pretty quickly, so I headed out to gather some more materials. I also would really like some more iron so that I can have some better weapons. I explored for a minute before finding a large cave. I delved deeper and deeper until I found some iron ore. Perfect! Just then, a bunch of bats came out of nowhere and tried to swarm me. Ah! I hurried and started smacking them with my new sword. The last few that evaded me, I shot with my slingshot. Nice! I really like having a sword. I mined the rest of the iron and hurried to craft myself an iron pickaxe, axe, and an iron helmet. This will be perfect. I left, still feeling accomplished. I had a new weapon and a new tool. I felt like I was on top of the world. On days 27 to 31, I went to Crew to chat with him about the special item that would help me defeat the humans. He was chilling in his treehouse. I was too big to fit, so we just talked from a distance.
Well, the legend says that thousands of years ago, many dinosaurs lived on the island in peace. Then one day, the dinosaurs saw a boat approaching. They had no idea what it was, so they didn't fear it. But then the humans landed, and they began to immediately attack the dinosaurs. They took over the island and started to chop down all the trees and pollute the land. One T-Rex, his name was Ignatius the Great. He sacrificed his most prized possession to the volcano gods in order to gain the legendary item to ward off the humans.
What was the item exactly?
It was an amulet that granted him awesome power to grow to 10 times his size.
Whoa, that is awesome!
Right? So he used the amulet to defeat the humans and protect the dinosaurs.
So what happened to him and the amulet?
I'm not sure exactly. That's all I know.
What an interesting story. I hoped that it was true. It could be the answer to all my problems. On days 32 to 35, I thought some more about what Crew said. I really need to find that amulet. And if it's on the island, how hard can it be to find it? I decided to look around for something significant that could possibly help me. While I was venturing further into the island, I came upon a group of ocelots. One of them recognized me.
Hey, it's that dinosaur that helped me get food.
He ran up to me and started talking to me. His family seemed a little reluctant, so they stayed further back.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for the amulet that was lost on the island. Do you know anything about it? My little ocelot friend shook his head, but his dad piped up.
That amulet corrupts all who hold it. You don't want it.
Why do you say that?
The dinosaur that held it, Ignatius the Great, began to use the power to unfairly rule all of the dinosaurs. The volcano gods were angry, so they willed the volcano to erupt, taking out all the dinosaurs.
That's awful.
Well, that's what happens when you mess with power you shouldn't have. I couldn't agree more.
I flipped around to see Dr. Harland. How did you find me?
It's not that big of an island. I knew I would find you eventually.
I tried to run away, but Dr. Harland shot a dart at me. It got me right in the leg, and I immediately felt woozy again. Oh no, I can't pass out again. Everything was starting to get fuzzy.
It's okay. We'll take care of you.
Then everything went dark. On days 36 to 39, I woke up back in my house. Hey, how did I get back here? I went outside and saw the ocelot family hanging out with Zoe.
Look who's awake.
My little ocelot friend ran up to me.
Zozo, you're okay.
What happened?
Dr. Harlan shot you and then you passed out. We worked together to move you. We met your sister outside. She had been looking for you and was worried. She helped us to carry you in.
Wow, you guys are the best. Thanks.
No problem.
I don't even know all of your names. The ocelot officially introduced himself as Marty. The rest of his family had M names as well. Melissa, Mo, Miley, you get it.
Now that you're feeling better, how about we make some room for our new friends?
Sounds like a plan. Zoe and I worked on making an enclosure for the ocelots. I could tell they were scared to be living out on their own. By the time we finished, I could tell they were really happy about it. I decided to talk more with Marty's dad, Marvin, about the legendary amulet. I asked him where it might be, and he shook his head.
All I know is that the legend says it was buried with Ignatius somewhere on the north side of the island. That's where his home was. Everyone claims that he was wearing the amulet when the volcano erupted.
Interesting. I would have to travel a long way to go looking for it. But before I went back out, I got to work on the statue. It was coming along pretty great. I was excited to finish it. So, was your guess right? On days 40 to 43, I went out to go looking for more iron since I hadn't found that many deposits nearby. I went north and found a pretty big cave. As I entered, I saw a bunch of snakes slithering around. Not today! I quickly shot them with my slingshot, hit them with my sword, and also used my roar to send them flying into the lava. I was starting to feel really powerful. I journeyed deeper, and sure enough, I found a huge deposit of iron as well as coal. I made myself a little crafting table and set up a camp for myself in the cave. With the iron I had collected, I made myself all new tools and weapons. I am the mightiest of T-Rexes! Nobody can stop me now! On days 44 to 49, I journeyed to the north side of the island in search of the amulet. I was tromping through the jungle when I heard a scream. I snuck forward to see a bunch of alligators who had trapped a toucan. It looked like they were about to eat her. Hey, stay away from her! I tromped out from my hiding place and the alligators snapped at me. I guess they didn't like me intruding on their dinner plans. They started to attack me, but with my sonic roar and powerful tail, they were gone in an instant.
Thank you, mister.
I'm Zozo.
I'm Greta. I thought for sure I was going to be alligator food.
Well, I'm glad I was around.
I've been hearing about the dinosaurs on the island. What brings you over here?
I'm looking for the lost amulet of Ignatius the Great.
Oh, that's a tricky one, that is. It's supposedly here on the north side of the island, but...
What?
Well, it's kind of complicated to explain. I think it would be easier if I just showed you.
Okay, sounds like a plan to me. On days 50 to 53, I followed Greta further into the north side of the island. We were about to enter a clearing when Greta stopped me. Is that chanting?
Yeah.
I looked through the trees and saw a temple of some sort. There were a bunch of other toucans gathered around something on a pedestal. Hey, they have the amulet!
Wait, Zozo!
I didn't listen, and I tromped through the trees toward the birds. They immediately squealed in delight and started bowing. What's going on?
Oh, great and mighty one! You have heard our call, and you have come to retrieve what you have left behind.
I looked on the pedestal and noticed that it wasn't an amulet. It was Is that a foot?
Yes, great Ignatius, it is your foot. We have been saving it for you.
I looked behind me and saw Greta was super embarrassed. These must have been her family members. The crazy side of the family, no doubt. Yes, I have been missing my foot. Thank you for taking such good care of it. They continued bowing as I went up and grabbed the foot. It was definitely from a T-Rex. My humble toucans, where did you find my foot? One hopped forward eagerly.
Oh, yes, we found it over here.
We journeyed on a path leading toward a large rock formation.
The foot was just sitting right here, oh holy one.
Thanks. Do you mind if I look around?
Do as you wish, great one.
The toucan left, and Greta flew up a moment later to rest on my shoulder.
I should have warned you. I don't come around here anymore because they are all a bunch of crazies. I mean, who worships a foot?
I just laughed. It's fine. It was exciting to say the least. I began digging at the rock formation, and sure enough, I found more bones inside. This must be Ignatius. Yes. We managed to uncover all the bones, but there wasn't an amulet in sight. If he wasn't wearing it, where did it go?
All the stories said he was wearing it.
This was beginning to feel like a wild goose chase. I gathered all the bones, and we headed back toward the base. On days 54 to 57, Greta and I made it back to the base. She didn't want to be with her crazy family, understandably, so we made a little nook for her. She seemed to really like it.
Hey, Zozo.
It was Crew. He came over to me. What's up?
I'm running a little low on food. Do you think you could grab me some more bananas? There's a tree nearby with some in it, but there are also some spiders in there.
No problem. I went to the tree Crew was talking about and immediately saw the swarm of spiders. Yuck! I used my slingshot to make them fall out of the tree, and then I attacked them. They were no match for my roar, and soon enough, they were gone. Sweet! Now Crew can have all the bananas he could want. I used my roar to make the bananas fall out of the tree, and I gathered them for my friend. He was ecstatic to see all the food I had gotten for him.
Wow, thanks, Zozo. Wait here for just a minute.
Crew went to work. In his treehouse, he started mixing a bunch of ingredients together in the mixing basin. And before I knew it, he had a big loaf of banana bread for me. Where did you even learn to bake? And where did you even get a mixer?
I have my ways. Here, hope you like it.
I ate it, and it was actually delicious. Yum. Thanks, Crew. He jumped up and down in delight.
No problem.
On days 58 to 62, I worked on the statue for a little bit. I was nearly done when I heard a scream from down below. The base was being attacked by some humans. Oh no! I hurried to run down to the base and noticed that all my friends had been shot with sleeping darts. The humans were trying to take them away. You let my friends go! I roared with all my might, and the humans focused their attention on me. They tried to shoot me, but I dodged them. I managed to take out a few of the guards and then went to chase the rest away. They got scared of me and ran off. Good riddance. I hurried to help my friends get back to their homes when I noticed that Zoe was missing. Zoe! I looked outside the base and I saw her lying on the ground. She didn't look too good. Zoe, let's get you inside so you can sleep.
They didn't hit me with a sleeping arrow, Zozo. They hit me with a real bullet.
What? Why?
I heard one of Dr. Harlan's men say that they just needed one dinosaur for the exhibit. You. So I charged him, and he shot me.
Oh no. Zoe!
It's okay. The hunter that shot me, Brett, said that they were going to get the amulet from its secret hiding place.
Zoe weakly handed me a map.
They dropped this. Hurry, Zozo. Take care of the rest of the dinosaurs. Protect the island.
And with that, my sister died. No! On days 63 to 66, I used the map that Zoe gave me to track down Brett. They won't get away with this. I traveled to the north side of the island again, past the temple and down into a large cave. There didn't seem to be anybody around, but then I saw a pool of water with a large glowing squid in it. There were a bunch of humans attacking him. Stop hurting innocent creatures! The men jumped in surprise as I attacked them. In only a matter of seconds, they were defeated.
Thank you, Ancient One.
Of course.
I knew you would all be back someday. It was only right that the dinosaurs ruled this island again.
Do you know where the amulet is? The squid nodded and pointed down further into the tunnel.
I'm afraid the rest of the humans have already started heading down that way, though.
How did they know to look for you?
Dr. Harland was my friend. When he came to the island, he discovered me and studied me. I told him of the amulet in the cave, but he wasn't interested in it at the time. It wasn't until recently that he wanted to retrieve it. I guess he didn't want a chance you finding it and overpowering him. He ordered his goons to destroy me.
I'm so sorry. That must have been heartbreaking.
You can't trust those humans. They only want power. They'll do anything to get it.
I'll go retrieve it.
Good luck to you, friend.
And with that, the squid swam further into the pool and disappeared. On days 67 to 70, I went deeper into the cave, which then opened up into a huge underground chasm. This must have been Ignatius's lair. Then I saw Brett and some other goons grabbing a chest from an alcove. That doesn't belong to you. Brett dropped his chest in surprise. He turned and sneered at me.
It don't belong to you neither.
I charged, ready to strike. The men got out their weapons, ready to shoot.
Don't hurt him, just put him to sleep. The doc wants to save him for later.
I managed to dodge all the darts, and I used all of my strength to swing and hit the humans. I finished off his men, and then went to attack him. Brett looked a little uneasy as I got closer, so then he pulled out his dart shooter.
I don't want to hurt you, dinosaur, but I will if I have to.
He fired his weapon, and it wasn't sleeping darts. It was a stun blaster. Ouch! Electricity pulsed through me and I fell down, hard.
Just give up. It'll be easier.
Then I blacked out. On days 71 to 74, I woke up, my bones and body aching. Then I remembered, the chest! I looked in the alcove and it wasn't there. Shoot! Brett must have taken it while I was out. I felt awful as I made my way out of the cave and up into the jungle again. It was super slow going to get back home, but eventually I made it. On days 75 to 78, I entered the base. I was so exhausted and just wanted to be alone, but my friends came running up to me.
Zozo, you're okay. We were asleep, and when we woke up, you were gone. Where's Zoe?
I told them all about what happened, and they stood in shock.
We are so sorry, Zozo. Zoe was a really good friend.
I felt awful. I told them I needed to rest, and I went into my house for a little while. It wasn't until I heard screaming and shouting. I hurried to run outside, only to find Brett in the base, trying to shoot my friends again. What are you doing here?
I need your blood, dinosaur. Give it to me.
Ew, gross. No! I roared at Brett, causing him to fly backwards into the wall. I smacked him with my tail and sword, easily defeating him. I then felt a surge of power, and I leveled up into a full-size T-Rex. My roar could demolish anything, and I had tons of hearts.
What did he mean he needed your blood?
I have no idea, but that was definitely creepy. I looked and saw that Brett had dropped some things. I was hoping it was the amulet, but it was just a key card and a painting. The painting had some glyphs of humans shooting a dinosaur with a dart shooter and then growing to be huge. Have you seen anything like this?
No, it just looks like something the old humans must have left. They probably just thought that defeating a dinosaur would grant them power.
I guess Brett thought so too. Probably why he came back to hurt me.
Creepy.
I looked at the key card a little bit more closely. It had the park symbol on it and a label saying Site B. What is Site B?
The park is Site B. Site A is the abandoned site down the hill.
There's two?
Yeah, Site A was abandoned because it was too small. Now it's just storage.
There must be something important in there if Brett has a keycard to it.
Must be.
On day 79 to 84, I traveled to Site A to go exploring. I was hoping the keycard for Site B would work here too. As I approached the front gate, I took out the keycard, put it in the keycard scanner, and the gate clicked open. Nice! I followed the path and arrived at the main building that rose through the jungle, high into the sky. I slowly went inside the building and saw lots of boxes and cobwebs. The place looked like a mess. This place has been completely abandoned. I explored the building and saw an interesting roller coaster through the window. It goes straight through a dinosaur skeleton exhibit. What in the world was happening in this place? All of a sudden, I heard a noise from a back room. I approached and looked through the window, only to see an alligator looking through the cabinets. I wonder what she's doing. Then she saw me and charged at the glass. She then opened the door and ran towards me. I quickly backed up and she snapped her teeth at me.
What are you doing here?
I'm looking to see if there was anything that could help me defeat Dr. Harland here. What are you doing here? The alligator looked at me. She paused for a moment and started speaking slowly.
I'm also trying to get to Dr. Holland. He's been running tests on my family in order to make new dinosaurs. I need to rescue him.
We can work together. Have you found anything useful here?
Yeah, there's some sort of weapon downstairs, but it's too heavy for me to carry. Maybe you can carry it.
I started to go down the stairs toward the control room. As I was about to enter, I felt something push me down the stairs. It was the alligator. Hey, what was that for?
You aren't supposed to be here, dinosaur. You've been extinct for years, and now you just expect to rule the whole island? The alligators are the real predators here.
She snapped her teeth at me and almost got me. Hey, I'm just trying to survive here. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. She ignored me and kept snapping her teeth. I backed up and then used my roar to push her back. I hit her a couple more times, and then after only a minute, she was gone. I wonder if there was anything down here or if she was just lying. I looked around the room, and sure enough, it was mostly just trash. Then I noticed a trapdoor. I was too big to go all the way down, but I did notice some diamonds and other materials, but they were out of reach. I looked around, and there were a few more diamonds just laying in the corner of the room. These will definitely come in handy. I grabbed them and headed back to the base. I would definitely need some help scouting out the rest of the secret room. On days 85 to 89, I went back to chat with my friends about what I had found.
Wow, I knew that the alligators on the island were super territorial, but that's just crazy.
What weirdos.
I know, right? But would one of you come with me back to the room? I can't fit down there, but I would like to see if there is anything else of value.
Yeah, sure.
Crew and I headed back to Side A, and he checked out the secret room. He came up in a few minutes, super excited.
There's a tunnel, and it looks like it leads into the Site B park.
This was great news. Now I just needed to figure out a way to fit down there. Crew explored some more and said there was a bigger tunnel opening near the river. That's perfect. I'll go in that way once I'm ready. On days 90 to 94, the monkey gave me the diamonds and I used them to craft myself some better weapons. I didn't really have enough diamonds to make armor that would fit me, so I just made weaker diamond armor with a few chunks missing from the armor pieces. It would be enough to cover my weak spots. I tried it all on, and I actually felt really cool. Not only am I a strong dinosaur with superpowers, I now also have some protection. I knew that I was one step closer to defeating Dr. Harland and freeing all the dinosaurs. On days 95 to 97, I finished the statue. It is in honor of Zoe. As I looked up at the finished statue, I felt a sense of hope and strength. I knew that I would get the amulet and fulfill my destiny. On day 98, I said goodbye to all my friends before heading out. Take care, you guys. I'll be back. I promise. They cheered me on as I left the base and headed out to the park. On the way there, I noticed a plane overhead, and it was dragging a sign in the sky. Subscribe? Hey, that sounds like a good idea. You should do that so you can follow along on some of our other adventures. On day 99, I went to the river where the tunnel opening was. I broke the bars and headed inside toward the park. It was dark for a little while, but then I started to see light. The tunnel led to an enclosure with all kinds of other dinosaurs. I approached the gate and roared to break it open.
Whoa, it's the T-Rex!
They all gathered around me.
Are you gonna free us?
Yes, this tunnel leads to the outside world. I'll go open up all the other enclosures so that we can all be free.
The dinosaurs whooped in delight, and then a bunch of darts started flying. The humans came out of nowhere and started shooting at us. Run! You'll be safe! They all started running into the tunnels as I roared at the humans. I trudged through the park, defeating the guards easily. I continued to the other side of the park. On day 100, I was loose in Jurassic Park. There were a bunch of humans running around in panic. I tried not to step on them. I just wanted to find Dr. Harland. Then, out of nowhere, came a bunch of humans with weapons. They shot, but I dodged and roared and swung my tail at them, sending them flying in different directions. They quickly ran away, and I continued through the park to the big building in the center. I smashed through the doors, and sitting on a pedestal was the amulet of Ignatius. I went to grab it, but I felt a dart hit me. I flipped around and saw Dr. Harland with a large shooter.
Come quietly, and I won't hurt you.
No! I grabbed the amulet and felt a huge surge of power. I turned into a giant T-Rex with massive teeth and a mighty tail.
So be it.
Dr. Harland backed up into the lab and closed the door. I heard some whirring, and then he appeared in a large robotic suit.
I didn't want to hurt you, but you have ruined my park. You are a liability now.
He shot at me with some tough shooters, but they didn't hurt me as much since I was so powerful. However, he soon started throwing bombs at me, which were not so easy to avoid. We exchanged blows, and I almost thought that Dr. Harland was about to end me. Ah, that hurt! Ha! I dodged that one. You will not take me down that easily. Take that!
Ah, you dirty lizard! That hurts!
But I was also doing some damage. I could tell some of my roars were hurting his mech because sparks started flying. Finally, his mech started smoking. Now I was doing some real damage. Then I used my sonic roar and sent Dr. Harland flying. The suit crumbled into pieces, and Dr. Harland was finally defeated. I made my way throughout the rest of the park, releasing all the dinosaurs back into the wild. They all seemed super happy. Once we all reached my base, I saw my friends cheering for me. Life was back to the way it should be.